At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today, and make your voice heard.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Carthage, Illinois, here at Illini West High School as it's Prairieland Conference final week. IHSA football and the Macomb High Bombers are here to play the Illini West Chargers. I'm Dwayne Hulett. Tegan Perry's alongside. And joining us tonight as well is Coach Tony Weston. And it's a three-man crew for a chance for the Bombers guys to go 9-0. And doesn't matter how many times you've done it or how long you've done it, Coach. This is a pretty exciting opportunity for the Bombers.
Oh, absolutely. History in the making here tonight, hopefully. Obviously, business has to be taken care of. But, man, I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to come and hang out with you guys. And Tegan, a good buddy of mine, coming out here Friday night, nice little crisp in the air, and it couldn't be more perfect.
Well, I'll tell you what. Talking to Keith Yex before the game, and he's a Hall of Fame Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame media member, and we were talking about who has the pressure, and I said to me it seems like that the pressure is on Illini West because Illini West has to win this game to get in the playoffs, and with the history that they have, missing the playoffs is a big deal for them. He thinks that the pressure's on Macomb. I don't know that I can agree with that, but
well, you know what? There's something to that because what's at play here kind of behind the scenes is the 3A, 4A cutoff. And it's razor thin right now. So A loss to Illini West, which puts them into the playoffs, could be enough to bump Macomb up to 4A. So that's another one of those factors. Then you've got the pressure of 9-0, your seed, who do you play? And if you are in 4A, there's a world of difference between 9-0 and 8-1 and who's going to be coming to Macomb football field next week.
Tegan, as a recent graduate from Macomb High, and you were there when there was some struggles when these kids were all young, and you were part of this group that kind of grew up to this. 9-0, there's some added pressure on these kids right now to go 9-0?
Oh, 100% totally. Coming off like a 3-6 season, 2-7, and then you had the year during COVID where people didn't think they were going to play football ever again. So, yeah, I think the pressure definitely is here because they realize how rare this opportunity is, especially for these seniors too. Tonight, it's going to mainly be on the seniors, both on Macomb side and Illini West. This game will come down to them because it's going to come down to who wants it more.
You see Coach Lafferty on camera, and Coach Weston. Everybody in West Central Illinois knows Coach Lafferty, right? He's been around the area forever. He's used to winning. This is a program that's used to winning. I mean, I understand that the pressure is there for the Bombers, but they're in either way. To me, it's for a program with the history that Illini West has. And before Illini West, it was Carthage and Northwestern La Harpe. Those programs came together to make another great program because they were both great programs. You know, you and I have been around a while. We know that. We've seen that, right? There's a ton of pressure to be able to say we got in the playoffs, and this community or these communities actually make up the school district. And
I think that's accurate, 100%. And what's also at play there is the fact that we're pretty far removed from the Jim Unruh days and the days when Coach Lafferty was leading the ship, and the string of state championship appearances and all of those things. And there were some lean years in the interim. But Coach Lyle Klein has done a fantastic job of building this back up. And what they want to do is get back to where playoffs is a perennial expectation. So you're right. This is a step in that direction. And to accomplish that by knocking off an 8-0 Macomb team would be huge for this program.
The thing that's impressed me most, and Tegan and I have been – I know you've been to every game, but Tegan and I have talked at every game about each game. It's surprising to me, guys, that the Bombers, everybody's like, oh, they haven't played anybody. I don't care whether you play anybody or not. The fact that they've never really truly been threatened at any point in a game. I mean, even in Elmwood Brimfield when they scored first, you never once felt like Elmwood Brimfield was going to win that game. They have never let anybody all season long have a feeling of we're going to win this game.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. And you know what? We've heard that a lot. We're in the community, and there's people that have some things to say, but you're right, 100%. You play who's on your schedule. Coach Tanner Horrell did not go out and handpick this schedule. In fact, I was in the meetings when we made this transition, and Macomb had proposals where, well, without getting into it, it could have looked a little bit different. But, some teams dropped or moved or whatever, and that wasn't – ultimately that didn't come to fruition. But you play who's on the schedule, and there are some solid football teams that will be playing next weekend that were on the schedule. And you brought up Elmwood Brimfield. I'd bring up Rova. They had some phenomenal athletes on that team. There were some moments in there where Rova was punching back. But this Macomb team can come at you from so many different ways. And I'll tell you right now, Dwayne, the thing that's impressed me the most, and it's something that you really don't even realize until you get down here to week 7, 8, 9. You look at Jack Duncan's statistics and you see the 75% completion and the only 4 interceptions versus it was at 18 touchdowns. What is it up to now? But the stat that jumps to me is
we had 4 more last week. So.
Yeah. So he's up to you're right, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But the most impressive stat beyond those, 3 sacks. He's been sacked 3 times, and you may get a 1,000-yard rusher tonight on the same team. This offensive line was much maligned. Brought back 1 starter, and that was a big question mark. That's in my conversations with Tanner Horrell. That was a big concern. Who's going to block? And I'll tell you what, that line has done an outstanding job.
Yeah, and Tegan, you've been part of those offensive and defensive lines. That's where the work gets done, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. throughout the entire years of playing for Macomb, the number one thing that even Coach Weston had preached to us, you win the game at the line of scrimmage. If you don't win the game at the line of scrimmage, you not only hurt your entire team, you hurt your running back, you hurt your fullback, you hurt your quarterback, you hurt your other linemen as well. And that even goes on the defensive side of things. If you don't do that well, you're going to get your linebackers hurt. You're going to get your corners hurt. So both coaches have really preached the fact that you need to protect whoever is on your team. The defensive and offensive line does the dirty work. And if you can do that dirty work, then you'll be a hero.
Langdon Allen on to kick off for the Bombers as we get ready to go. And, guys, it's – what do we got time on the clock. I have to lean way forward. They're going to let the last 30 seconds lean out. You guys might have to help me with times and stuff here.
Yeah,
so
you got it.
I got to lean way out the window. It's a freaking awesome scoreboard, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's phenomenal. I was looking at the I thought that we had some issues with the scoreboard down here to our left, and then I saw the video board here. It's outstanding.
There's the kickoff. It's going to be returned. A whole lot of running, not a lot of distance made. We'll look at the camera. Number on the return, it looks like it was number 15, Jorgen Espinoza, on Jorge Espinoza on the kickoff return. It's going to be first and down for the Chargers at their own 38-yard line, it looks like. And that's where the Bombers' defense, which I think has gotten kind of forgotten about this year, starts things off. We got a 3 wides near, 1 wide far, a single setback beside the quarterback in the backfield. Here's the snap, shotgun. It's going to be a quarterback draw, and he's not going to go anywhere. Into the backfield, Carter Hogue, and who else is back there? Ian Case is there, and getting up off the bottom of the pile is Max Reiner. The carry by number 7, Jarek Lemaire, the quarterback, and it is a loss of 4 on the play, I think. No? Where did they? A gain of 1.
Yeah,
they gave the line of scrimmage.
They gave some forward progress, but I tell you, that play is made right there by the big guys in the middle, holding their ground, not trying to be a hero, not trying to slice gaps, but just holding their ground, occupying blockers, and giving Carter a chance to come in from the edge.
Twins right, twins left, single setback beside Lemaire. He goes and in motion. Now it's going to be another quarterback draw. Lemaire on the carry, and he's going to be stacked up by Ethan Ladd this time, as Ladd was there and made that form tackle that we've seen so many times this year. It's going to be a gain of 4 for Lemaire, bring up 3rd and 5 from about the 43-yard line for the Chargers.
Yeah, that's trademark Ethan Ladd. That's 2 points for the takedown right there.
I wouldn't know where he'd learn to do something like that.
From experience, getting taken down by Ethan Ladd is not a fun experience. I'll give you that.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5. The first big down here for both teams, offensively for the Chargers, defensively for the Bombers. 3 wides near, 1 far. Lemaire is going to take the snap one more time. It's another quarterback draw. Not as much running room this time, but he does actually break a couple tackles, and he's going to get outside. Ultimately going to be brought down by Ladd and others, but it's going to be very close to a first down. We'll see where they mark it. It is a first down. 1st and 10 for the Chargers on a gain of about – he really only gained 5, but it was enough to get the first down. 1st and 10, Chargers at their own 48-yard line.
Boy, I tell you, Lindsey May came off our side, off the field edge right there, and he took a very safe route. He had a nice play, but if he squeezes that down, he's got the leverage on the hip, on the near hip. But if he goes straight to the hip rather than staying safe, he may have that play at the line of scrimmage.
We're going to do it again. They've ran 3 straight quarterback draws. A little different formation. The setback is a little farther out. He's going to go to the wide receiver screen this time. It's Espinoza, and he's going to be dropped after maybe a yard gain. Carter Hogue and Ladd there again on the stop, and we'll see if they mark it forward. They are going to give him a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. It's like deja vu all over again.
I'll tell you, they every single day the Macomb Bomber defense does relentless pursuit drills that are so tiring, so exhausting, and it's repetition, it's over and over. And you saw it playing out right there. The receiver did a great job on that now route of shaking the first tackler, and there's 5 white jerseys right there in his face because they are pursuing immediately to the football with great team speed.
Carter Hogue has been one of the best defensive players, emotionally at least, for the Bombers all year. He gets his nose in, and they're going to take a timeout here. Charged to the Chargers. Kind kind of early for a timeout, but we'll stay here for this timeout, and we'll tell you this game being brought to you by McDonough District Hospital. McDonough District Hospital athletic trainers and MDH Rehabilitation Center with locations in Bushnell and Macomb provide expert help to Spartan, Bomber, Cyclone student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than hospital care, and hospital caring. And Ronabay Auto Sales with locations in Macomb and Augusta. With 80 years of car sales experience, Ronabay Auto Sales is your hometown go-to for your next car. In Macomb on East Jackson Street, stop and talk to Justin, Jared, or Chris, or visit them at www.lbsalescars.com to check out their inventory. Kind of an early timeout there, Tegan, and it seems like the Chargers are content to control the clock here.
I think on that one they were just more or less confused on what the play was, because it seems like they had the right personnel out there. Just maybe a couple of people didn't really understand, so that's why they brought them back.
You go 3 wide receivers far side, actually a H-back and a tight end on the other side, it looks like. Now they're going to throw left side, and again, good pursuit. A short gain, and they're going to be stacked up. And talking about pursuit, Coach, that's exactly what you see there. One white jersey holds him up and about 15 others, but I know there's only 11 on the field, but it looked like 15 came to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Dwayne, one thing I'm noticing early in the game is an adjustment that Dave Wilson has made. You brought up the spark plug, number 5, Carter Hogue, earlier. He has been a field outside linebacker all season. He's flipped to the boundary this week, and they're putting number 8, Connor Bishop, is flipping to the field as an outside linebacker, and that's in response to seeing these more modern spread formations that Illini West is running. So now Carter Bishop is out in coverage, and you've got Carter Hogue coming off the edge in his more natural, so you can still use that aggression, and there he comes right down the edge of the line, right down the heel line.
And on the stop, among others, for the Bombers is Max Reiner, but also in there, number 57, Hunter Kendrick. And that's a loss of 2. It's going to bring up 4th down and 8 from the 50-yard line for the Chargers. And the first big decision of the game is called punts.
Yeah, it looks like he's bringing it on. That was always, for me, you get right around, midfield. You get into, if you're plus or minus 5 yards, that was always, I always like to gamble right there. I don't know how much you're going to gain, flipping the field there versus, hey, we may pick this up, but, 8 yards is a bit much.
Looks like Langdon Allen and JT Jeter back to receive.
It's a fake.
It's a fake, and they got a ton of running room, and they're going to have a first down. Espinoza and is going to go for a big gain from the 50 all the way down to the 26-yard line, a 24-yard gain for Espinoza, and the Chargers, well, they didn't go for it. They faked and went for it, but caught the Bombers off guard.
I tell you, that's an outstanding call by Lyle Klein, to tell you the truth. We were just talking about it. You're at in the minus 49, right about midfield. If you don't make that, you're not giving up too much real estate right there. But to win this game, I think they feel like they're going to have to pull some things out of the pocket, and you saw a big one right there.
Lemaire back at the quarterback spot. And it's going to be too near, too far in motion. There's the shovel pass the Bombers see so well, and they break a tackle. Now he's got some running room back to the near side. He breaks one tackle, but he's finally, after all that, Reiner's going to be there to bring him down. The carry by Lemaire actually is number 6. Bergman, I thought that didn't look like Lemaire, but I had the numbers wrong, folks. I apologize. Bergman, the quarterback. Lemaire got the pass. And is that Lemaire kneeled down there, Coach?
Yeah, it looks like he's banged up his hand a little bit. Probably got it either bent back or hit it on a helmet or something. But I tell you, on a play like that, a broken play essentially is what it was. It is so imperative to maintain your assignment, to maintain your leverage. And we saw that when he came back on the backside. We had some leverage blown, but it's that relentless pursuit of the Bombers that limited that to a 4-yard gain.
Bergman rolls left. Reiner gives chase, can't get there. Bergman breaks the contain, and he's going to get a short gain from about the 28 down to the 25 or so. It looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4. 3rd and 4 for the Chargers at the Bomber 20-yard line, and the Bombers' defense has been on the field this entire quarter. We have 6:03 remaining. So half the quarter they've been on the field defensively here.
They saw what worked when Macomb played Elmwood Brimfield. They've had the ball the entire time, and they've done what they wanted to do.
Yeah, Havana actually did a very nice job of controlling the clock last week, and the problem with that is you have to make sure you score on every drive if that's going to be your play. But you know, it's effective.
Bergman, the wide receiver screen is incomplete. That one intended for number 11, Drake Mudd, and it's 4th down and 4. And I mean, at that point, you're in 4-down territory anyway, right? So you try something there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You're 4 yards away, so it's not a situation where you're behind the sticks and you got to pick up a chunk here and then, you know, make it more manageable. I think you try something there. But I think we're getting a little insight into Coach Klein's game plan this week. They're doing a lot of the now routes. They're doing the quarterback draws. I think he's wanting to get the ball out of the quarterback hands quickly. You know, I think they're going to try and draw those safeties up and then try and take their shot late in the second quarter, maybe after the half.
Yeah, you also know that the Bombers have great safeties, right?
Yes.
So here's Bergman going to trying to draw him offside, and they do.
Oh, and that's a senior
Lindsey May.
too. Yeah.
Lindsey May jumping off sides, and it's a first down by penalty at the 15-yard line for the Chargers.
It's a big mistake right there, and that's something that Coach Horrell's been preaching is we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. So, you know, that's something that the great thing about Coach Horrell and how he's led this team is Lindsey May's going to shake his head. The next snap is going to happen, and it'll be gone.
Yeah, that's the key to being a good football team, right? That's what I talked about against Elmwood Brimfield. Jack Duncan throws the pick six, gives the Elmwood Brimfield Trojans a lead for the first time. First time the Bombers trailed all season, and they come right back and drive the ball down the field.
Yeah, I was a spectator that week. I wasn't with Justice, and the look on his face was, that happened. Anyway, what's the next play?
And Bergman threw that, I think, intended for Espinoza, but it was nowhere near him. It's going to be incomplete. 2nd down and 10 from the 15. They are not taking the deep routes at all against the Bombers as of yet.
I mean, we've seen other teams try to test the deep routes. It doesn't really work out too well. Now, granted, the other team's quarterbacks have been more run-first quarterbacks, but it seems like Illini West has gone more pass-heavy first. But they just don't want to try to attack the deep threats because they think that the safeties are just way too strong for their wide receivers.
Two tights this time. Deep. Going to be a handoff up the middle, and it's not going to gain a lot. He's going to – Meredith and friends are there. And Reiner there again, and it's a gain of – we'll see where they actually mark it here, 2 or 3. Call that a gain of 2, 3rd down and 8.
Well, I think also one of the things when we're talking about the type of routes they're running is one of their best receivers is number 6, and he's locked one-on-one right now with number 3, which is – probably our best defensive back, cornerback Jaden Jones. So that's probably going to make you a little bit leery to head that way.
Yeah, Jaden Jones is as good as they come in this level of football on the corner. Here we're going to try it again for the Chargers. Fake handoff, drops back is Bergman. He's got an open receiver, and it's dropped and then dropped again. Who was that in coverage? It was J.T. Jeter behind Mudd, and Mudd let it go through his hands, and then Jeter had it drop off his fingertips, incomplete. 4th down and 8 from about the 13-yard line now for the Chargers.
I think that happened at about the 7-yard line there. So they still would have been a little bit short because Jeter was in his pocket. But that's what we were talking about earlier. That would have been more manageable.
Now they might try a simple curl route here to be able to get all the 8 yards here. At least that's what we did when we were in 4th down territory.
Yeah, we liked those hitches, and we also liked a little out route with a post behind it.
Bergman's got somebody in his face. He throws it. He's got a completion, but it's not going to go enough for a first down. On the stop was Carter Hogue. A completion,
and
but no gain, actually.
No, actually, and that's what you're looking at right there is the evolution of Carter Hogue. Early in the season, Carter Hogue's probably in the backfield there with that over-aggressiveness, and Dave Wilson's been in his pocket every day, every practice day, making sure he does his assignment. And you saw him right there. He saw that he wasn't getting home, drops into coverage, floats to the middle of the field, and he's in position to make a play, a huge play.
4:35 remaining in quarter number 1, and the Bombers touch the football for the first time offensively here tonight. And Coach Weston, exactly what you said. If you're going to take that much time off the clock, you got to score, and the Chargers couldn't get it done that time.
No, that's something right there where, we were just talking about you want to be able to forget, but that's something right there where it's
Duncan to Langdon Allen. He's going to round the corner, and he might go 40. Now he's going to cut it back inside, goes all the way across the field. He's got a blocker over there. He does have one. He's going to go all the way back to the other side, 40 into Chargers territory.
Cover
now
the
makes
ball.
another man mess, and he's down into the Chargers territory deep to the 33 or 4-yard line, and he probably ended up getting another 10 or 15 by cutting across, but he ran another 60 by getting there.
He did, and I tell you what, right here at the 50 is where that took place, and I'm not certain if he doesn't just put the head down and keep going, he doesn't have that sideline. I think he needed to trust his feet a little bit more.
Reiner on the carry. He bounces it outside. He's got running room, and he's going to have a sports corner first down for the Bombers, I think.
Seems like
they did move it forward.
Seems like they're favoring the hurry up right now. They want to score quick. They don't want to do what Illini was doing.
An 11-yard run for Reiner.
No, Macomb's a tempo team. They want to get going.
How many yards was that pass for Duncan? He's from the 13, but I never got to see where it was at. 11. Where are they at right now? 21-yard line. So to the 30.
Yes. No, it would have had to have been about the 32.
32. And there's a completion to Jeter. And another sports corner first down, this time a pass. And it's going to be first and goal from the 21 to the 8, I think.
They like running the max here up the middle.
Yep.
Actually, they said that was on the 23 before. Max Reiner on the carry. I'm just going to watch the screen, folks, because I can't see that far away for some reason. I'm having a hard time tonight. Reiner on the carry.
Yeah, that was a straight power up the middle. Not even a power. That was more of a blast. No pullers, just straight downhill, and Illini West was able to
Reiner from the 9, and he's going to go in for a Tom Conklin State Farm touchdown for Max Reiner, a 9-yard touchdown run, and the Bombers get it done in a hurry as Max Reiner scores from 9 yards out to give the Bombers a 6-0 lead.
Yep. I was going to say that was great blocking by the offensive line there, being able to push away the defensive line and the linebackers away from him to be able to just cruise in from the left side.
Well, and you recognize that, Tegan. That was that stretch zone. So those linemen did a great job of stepping, and 2-point conversion is good. They did a great job of stepping
slant
to the left. Yep, sorry about that, Dwayne.
Quick slant to Jeter, and it's a 2-point conversion. Is good. How much time's left?
You've got 3:33.
We'll take a quick break. 3:33 to go in quarter number 1. The Bombers lead 8-0.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
All right, welcome back here. I think we got the scoreboard right. No, I put it on the wrong side again. Put too many points up there. Bombers would take 14, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I would, 100%.
But that's the only bad thing about hitting that touchdown button. You can't see who you gave points to. So it is 8-0 Bombers with the lead. Langdon Allen on to kick off again for MHS. It's a short squib kick this time. It's bobbled around. It's on the ground. It's going to be recovered by, I think, number 44. I thought it was 54, but it's actually 44. That is Bradley Miller on the recovery, and Bergman and crew comes back out. They had the ball all the way down to the 4:35 mark, and they couldn't get a score, and the Bombers responded. in just over a minute and 2 seconds, as a matter of fact.
I think one thing Illini West has to do is not stress about that touchdown. We've seen a lot of teams after Macomb scored look a lot demoralizing. They need to not look like that and run their same game plan.
So Bergman's going to take the long snap, looks left, throws into the flat, and there's a whole lot of confusion out there. It looked like maybe a pick play being set up there, and it didn't quite work. I mean, as best as I can tell, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like a little wide receiver screen into the trip. So you've got two guys coming out, one guy staying behind. And it's just a variation on that now route that they weren't able to get going earlier on their first drive, trying to get downfield, gain a little real estate, but the throw was short.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot that they like to keep it in the backfield and then use their moves to get forward for first downs. So they haven't been doing a lot of movement downfield, more in the backfield.
Handoff's going to go up the middle, nothing doing there, and guess who? Max Reiner on the stop, carry for number 22, Thomas Chandler. And it is going to be 3rd down and 9 after a gain of 1, and another long 3rd down for the Chargers.
That was a 5-point takedown. They went feet to back there.
Yeah. You're ready for wrestling season in a few more weeks, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I was just telling E this morning that, take as many weeks as you need. We'll be fine without you for a while, but I'm going to be lonely without my buddy, Coach Ladd.
Ready to go again. Bergman takes the shotgun snap. Handoff, nope, fake, going to look left, throws deep downfield, and there's going to be a couple defenders there, and it floated so much that neither of them really had a good look at it. I think it was Jones over there, and then the intended receiver came in and kind of took a better angle at it. It was almost like a punt. It hung up there so long.
I think that was actually Carter Bishop.
Was it Bishop?
That got in there, and I think as he was trying to catch it, I think he ended up knocking it out of the hands of the receiver. Yeah, that was a strange one where it was high and –
I think the wind is blowing right to left, isn't it? It is a little right to left, so throwing it into the wind, got it up in the air, and it just hung up there. See if they do another fake here. I'm going to guess no. It nearly blocked. They kept it low. It's going to have a returnable kick for JT Jeter. He's got some running room to the right side. He rounds the corner, cuts it back inside across the 40 to about the 41-yard line, and the Bombers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 41.
That's a hallmark of an Illini West team right there, is they maintained their integrity. They were spread across the field. When JT came across the field with his speed, they hadn't pinched in like you see a lot of high school teams do. They were still in their spots and able to go ahead and make that play.
So, as we said, 1st and 10 Bombers. They scored in a minute and 2 seconds on their last – how much time's left on the clock?
You've got 2:26.
2:26 left here in quarter number 1. We'll see if they do that kind of thing and score that fast. Langdon Allen is right up on the line of scrimmage, nearly over the line of scrimmage. Duncan's going to drop back, looks deep downfield for Jeter, and Jeter just runs past the cornerback, but the throw was a little short, and it's it's going to be an interception?
No, he caught it.
Did he catch that?
He
How
caught
on
that
earth
over.
did he catch that?
He caught it over the cornerback's head. He reached over his head and brought it back. Now, what I noticed there, Illini West is staying with their cover 3 zone. And I wish I would have jumped in and said something because we were doing the hitches. They're off about 12 yards on their splits here, the cornerbacks, trying to keep some of that away.
There's the shovel pass to Jones. Jones is going to try and round the corner. He can't get there very well. Oh, he cuts it back in, and they said he stepped out of bounds.
There's going to be a holding call there. I think that's on number 82, Langdon Allen. Got a little bit too much jersey.
From the 41 to the 18 is 32 plus 9 is 41 yards on the first down pass.
So there, early in the season, we saw a lot of people stay with their cover 3 zones and try and handle the middle of the field, and it just wasn't working because of the dynamic offense that Macomb has. So then you started seeing some cover 2, you started seeing some quarters coverage, but then you're taking somebody out of the box and you get Max Reiner going for 204 touchdowns. So I was really interested to see what Coach Klein did. I'm expecting at some point you're going to see either a nickel or a spy that goes out with Jeter as well.
A 7-yard gain on the pass and then a 10-yard penalty brings up 1st down and 13. Duncan's going to throw right, and it's going to be an incomplete pass intended for JT Jeter.
got a little bit too far out ahead of him.
I tell you what, though, they're going one-on-one with Jeter. And in that situation, Macomb dared him because we were on the near hash. The ball's on the near hash right now. They went trips into the boundary and split JT way out, and they brought no help. So they have a lot of confidence in their cornerback out there.
He's giving him on an island, that is for sure.
That is
But
certain.
that's what the running game will do for you, right? Here's Reiner. He's going to go out to that island. He's going to cut it up inside. Now bounces it back outside. Going to break a tackle and then get pushed out of bounds. Going to bring up a 3rd and long. He gains 5. He's going to bring up 3rd down and 8.
No, yeah, about 2 right there. And I think.
Well, it was 1st and 13 or 2nd and 13.
Yeah, sorry. He needs to. Once he gets to about the numbers, he needs to remember he's Max Reiner, put the shoulder down, and just move forward.
So 3rd and 8 for the Bombers, as we need to be approaching a 1:30 mark of the first quarter. Pump fake. Duncan rolls right, lost it downfield, and is going to throw it away. It's going to bring up 4th down and 8.
Steve couldn't come down with the catch there.
Couple incompletions in a row now for Duncan, which has been uncharacteristic this year.
Yeah, and I tell you, they tried to run the joker out there where they fake the hitch and do the double move to get the go, try to bring the corner up, and he did a really nice job of staying in his back pedal and being on top of that and capping the coverage.
Yeah, when you give him that cushion, sometimes that hitch and go will bring him up, right?
Yeah.
And now a timeout charged to the Bombers as both teams have taken a timeout here in the first quarter.
You're at 1:26 left.
I do have a question for you, Coach.
Yeah.
If you knew that you're going to go for it on 4th down, why didn't you try to run there and get a little bit more yards? Because, you have Max Reiner back there in the backfield that'll get you 5-6 yards and make it a little bit more manageable.
Well, and you do, and that's certainly a philosophy. I think in that situation, they knew that they had another play in their pocket, so they went with that hitch and go. They went with that joker route, whatever terminology you want to use, and they felt like they had that big playability that they could go ahead and get in the end zone right there. Doesn't work, that's okay. You've got another down to burn.
This game being brought to you by Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling. Since 1960, Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling has provided the greater Macomb area with expert sales and service and installation of quality home comfort systems. Call your local Carrier dealer today at 309-833-2852 and find out how Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling delivers 365 days of indoor comfort. And the Old Dairy, located at 210 South Lafayette Street in Macomb, serving soups, salads, sandwiches, homemade desserts, Blue Bunny ice cream, and they have a full-service coffee bar. Breakfast is served all day, and they offer free Wi-Fi. Find them online at www.olddairymacomb.com or call 837-6700 for your takeout. So here we go. We're going to try it again on 4th down and 8. Duncan's going to go. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Turnover on downs, and the Chargers get the ball back just inside their 20-yard line. Actually, at about the 16, it would appear. 1st and 10 for the Chargers.
That's honestly a favorable spot for Illini West because that means they can drain even more clock. The further they are from the end zone, in their mind, is probably way better rather than being at the 30 because you want Macomb's offense off the field as much as possible.
I think that would be a fringe benefit.
That's a great theory as long as you can do what you want to do. The Bombers' defense has something to say about that, though. They did stop them last time. They gave up a very long drive that ended in no points the first time the Chargers had the ball. This is the 3rd series for the Chargers. Is going to fake the pitch or handoff in the front. Bergman's going to carry it forward.
That was a great play call against that defensive set, which, of course, Coach Klein couldn't have known was coming. But that was their spread stack look where the ends are out into the 5s. And you're opening up the A's and B's. You've got your inside guy, your nose guard, 2-gapping in the middle. And they brought 23 Lindsey May over to blitz the B gap, and it just so happened that the quarterback is drawn in the A gap. So he's able to slide by Lindsey May and get himself about 5 yards.
Yeah, 5-yard carry for Bergman. He'll go back to the shotgun formation again. Chandler beside him to his left. He's going to keep it, and another quarterback draw, and he's going to be close to a 1st down, a couple yards short. We'll see where they mark it. Looks like he's about the 24-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2. That's the thing about the spread offense, right? It does open up avenues and lanes for a quarterback draw.
Yeah, a quarterback draw, running back draw, those sorts of things, the inside zone. Problem with inside zone at the high school level is very difficult to block. Those are some advanced concepts that you have to spend a lot of time on to have the guard and tackle or center and guard, depending on which zone you're running, married at the hip and making sure that they're coming off properly in response to whether they see the lineman or the linebacker coming which way in their stunt.
Into the first quarter, the Bombers lead 8-0 over Illini West. 3rd and 2 for the Chargers. When we come back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, you're watching Arnold Brothers coverage of Macomb High football.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
At Country Financial, we enjoy serving the community in which we live, big or small.
I love living in the Blandonsville area. It's where I grew up, went to school, and decided to raise my family. I never had a desire to live or work anywhere other than in a small town. I feel lucky to help my longtime friends and neighbors with their insurance needs. It's like working with family every day.
I'm Brett Powell, your local Country Financial representative, whose door is always open to work with you.
And here we go, second quarter action getting ready to start here from Illini West High School as Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling brings Bomber Sports to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. They're going to go deep downfield this time, and he got behind Langdon Allen. The pass intended for number 16. That is Max. I can't even read it. Number 16 is Max Dittmer, and he got behind Allen but couldn't make the catch, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 2.
Risky call here. If they don't get it here, then Macomb's probably just going to run it in again. So we'll have to see if the coach's decision pays off.
No, they're punting. But that last play, that 3rd down play, Macomb came up in a zero look, which they did that a lot earlier in the year. They haven't done that in a while. There's the fake again. And it's not going anywhere this time.
Not going to get it that time. And Meredith and friends were there, as well as, who's that getting up off the bottom of the pile? Kendrick? A little slow to get up, but it's a loss on the play of 2 yards. The fake did not work that time, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Bombers. It looks like it's going to be somewhere. 21 or 22-yard line?
Looks like it's right on the 21.
So actually, there's a loss of, it was a loss of 2. It's 1st and 10 Bombers at the 21. And Duncan and friends with Lindsey May to his left, Reiner to the deep setback. He'll get the handoff right up the middle, not wasting any time. He goes right up the middle, breaks a couple tackles, keeps it rolling, keeps it moving. A sports corner, 1st down inside the 5-yard line near the goal line. It looks like about the 3-yard line from the 21. We'll see where they mark it at here. Is that the 4 or the 3?
The 3. Max just kept chugging his feet there. He wasn't going to be stopped.
Absolutely.
He does not like to be touched at all.
Same play, same exact play into the end zone.
Another touchdown run for Max Reiner, 3 yards that time. And the Bombers answer very quickly after the fake punt ended with a tackle by Meredith. And the Bombers lead 14 to nothing.
And those 2 plays, I love those. That was Max Reiner running. That was good physical running, and they ran an ISO with Lindsey May going straight at the inside linebacker and Max cutting off of him.
Duncan now is going to look to pass, I would imagine, as he does. Fakes left, throws right, and he's got the completion to J.T. Jeter for the 2nd time. First time a slant, this time an out. And it is 16-0 Bombers, just as we get ready to have started the 2nd quarter.
And I know Max kept chugging his feet there, and he got the touchdown there, but I need to give some credit to Ethan Ladd and Sam McClure. They really gave him a wide open lane there, those two running plays. And like Coach said, they were exact same plays. So for them to be able to do that, and again, without the defense, like knowing, like, hey, we're going to do this again, that was a really good job.
This game being brought to you here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH by Sports Corner at 124. Macomb's original local sports bar is Sports Corner at 124 with a focus on local sports. Catch WIU games and all the area TSSR Game Time Live broadcasts at Sports Corner at 124, all while enjoying your favorite cold drink and some of the best food in West Central Illinois. Stop in and say hi at 124 North Randolph Street in Macomb. We'll be there tomorrow night with a playoff watch party with these Bombers, as they are hoping to go into tomorrow night 9-0 and looking for a top seed in the IHSA football playoffs. We'll talk a little bit more about that at halftime, but Langdon Allen on to kick off again as Tyler Cummins is watching again tonight. Threw out a BT baby on that nice run. Here's another squib kick, and it's going to be covered near the 50-yard line. Coming up with it for the Chargers, number 55 is Caleb Crenshaw, one of the seniors playing his last game at home, likely. It's going to be 1st and 10 Chargers at the 48-yard line.
I was going to say, I know that they have been doing a couple of squibs, but they haven't really tried some of their pop-up kicks that they have done in previous games. Wonder why is that?
Well, I think they've been called, Tegan. One of the things that you notice is in the last couple of games, you've seen 3 different kickers throughout the night. So I think that what they're looking for going into the playoffs is some consistency.
Gotcha.
Bergman going to take another shotgun snap. Chandler to his right. He's going to tuck it and run immediately, and he's got nothing. Into the backfield first was Max Reiner, and Ian Case helped stop him, and it's going to be a loss of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 13 for the Chargers.
Huge. That's a huge point of pride for the Macomb defense. They really track those TFLs and you know, I've got this many tackles for loss and I've got this many and you know, the big play capability, but we're talking earlier about that philosophy of burning the clock, and Tegan, you said, you know, maybe they got more field to work with, but Macomb's philosophy is we're going to have big plays and we're going to bend. But as you go down the field and the more times you snap the ball, eventually you're going to get behind the sticks or you're going to make a mistake. And more often than not, that has happened.
2 wides near, 2 wides far. Single setback beside Bergman. He drops back looking to the flat this time. He makes the completion to Mudd, and it's going to be a 5-yard, maybe a 4-yard gain. They see if they give him forward motion progression. They do. It's a 5-yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Chargers right on the 50-yard line.
I think Max Reiner got caught a little bit there in between. He was playing a little sugar game up at the line, showing blitz, and he dropped into coverage, but he kind of dropped flat. He didn't get the depth that he normally would.
So big series here for the Chargers. They don't want to give the ball back to the Bombers with a chance to go down 3 scores. Bergman going to take the snap. He drops back. He's got Ladd in his front face. He gets knocked down. The pass is incomplete, and it's going to bring 4th down and 8 on the incompletion. And it's 4th and 8 from the 50, and the punt team comes on. They faked, they punted, they faked. This time it's punt time, right?
Yep. Carter Hogue actually did a really good job tipping that ball in the air and making a little bit of a chance for a Macomb player to be able to get that. That's what you want to do when you're in a position like him. Tip it up and hope someone else gets it.
I like trying to go on 2 or 3 here, see if you can get yourself a quick 5. Nope, they're going to punt, and it's got a hand on it.
Right to Jeter. Jeter's going to run it right up the middle of the field, and he's going to be brought down quickly. And it's going to be 1st and 10 Bombers at about the 30-yard line. See where they mark it at here. Will be 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Here's second quarter action. Bombers lead 16-0. You can see that on the Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling scoreboard. And it's going to be Jack Duncan again taking the snap. Handoff's going to go to Denzel Cochran on the left side. Little thunder and lightning action going here, and he's going to get a Sports Corner 1st down, I think. Denzel Cochran on the carry. See what they give him. They give him 11 or 12? Where are they marking it at?
12.
give him 12. Denzel Cochran, his first carry of the night, gets him 12 yards, and it's a Sports Corner first down for the Bombers.
And I feel like Coach Weston can agree with this. Denzel Cochran is a very underrated runner in this offense.
Yeah, he's really come on right there. That little cut. You're not going to see a lot of yards there, but that nope, they're calling that down.
Yeah, he was stopped. They actually grabbed the ball and pulled him backwards and threw him down and then ripped the ball away from him. A very short gain. That's the difference between Denzel and Max Reiner, right? If you can get your hands on him, you can control him.
Sure. And the evolution of Denzel, he had defenders in front of him 3 yards in the backfield. He makes a nice cut back to the middle of the field, and he ends up getting a yard out of it.
Duncan with setbacks to his left and right. Now he's going to pump fake, and he's got Langdon Allen, and Allen turns back into a defensive player, and he's going to make an incomplete pass out of something that very well could have been an interception, as he had him beat, but Duncan just underthrew him.
Yeah, that ball didn't come out of Jack's hand very well. And you could tell it when it was in the air. Jack knew that wasn't the throw he wanted.
I'll tell you what, the deep throw going left to right on the TV screen is not the thing unless you can throw a dart. And Duncan does throw a dart, but, man, that wind is stiff coming right to left on the TV screen for you folks at home. Duncan's going to take the snap now from the shotgun formation.
Yeah.
Handoff's going to go to Reiner. He's got running room to the right side. Up the middle he goes. It's going to be a Sports Corner first down.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tegan, like you had mentioned earlier, this was going to be an excellent opportunity. Third down, you're getting to midfield. Maybe you go ahead and get a little 4 or 5 yard chunk, more manageable fourth down, but then you have Max Reiner and you end up picking it up.
Yeah. Also, Brandon Sprinkle on that play just absolutely destroyed his man and put him to the dirt. Want to say that real quick?
12-yard gain, and the pass is completed.
No, it's not.
They said he pointed to it. It's going to be a 10-yard gain, I think. Nope, they moved it back. You can only give him 9, right? JT Jeter on the catch, his third catch.
That's a long 9.
That is as long of a 9 as you can get right there.
Yep.
Oh, second inches. They're going to go over the top here. Oh, they went with it now.
And Jeter's got it in the flat on the wide receiver screen. And he's going to spin move, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. Maybe. Does he get there? No, he doesn't.
Just short.
He spun, he leaped, he got around, and not quite in. It's going to be a Sports Corner first down from the 35-yard line, technically 36, and he's down to the 1, a 35-yard completion.
I'll tell you what, that play doesn't happen if Brandon Sprinkle doesn't get his man outside.
Just an absolutely great block. Sprinting his way all the way to the sideline and lays out the cornerback.
The ball's on the ground. I'm not sure what was going on there. Illegal procedure. I don't know what was supposed to happen there.
I think that ball might have been snapped before Jack was ready for it. Well, I think what I was looking at Tegan, but when I looked up, it looked like Jack was going to go from his shotgun position and run up under center and go for a sneak, an under center sneak, and I think that the ball was snapped while he was moving forward.
First and goal at the 6. Handoff's going to go to Reiner this time. He tries to make one person miss across the 5, or about to the 5 maybe.
Great effort by Sam McClure to try to push his man to the end zone. Unfortunately, 1 man versus 4 isn't a very, very favorable odds.
Was a whole host of blue jerseys there that time, and it's going to be second and goal from the 5, just inside the 5 for the Bombers. Duncan again from the shotgun. Jaden Jones in motion. The pass to Jones, and he's going to turn the corner and get in. A 5-yard shovel pass touchdown for Jaden Jones.
That felt like time to go outside. That felt like it was going to be something to the outside, probably to the field, and that's something that's been a staple of the Bombers' attack this year is that little shuttle to Jaden Jones. Coach Horrell is Coach Steve Horrell has a bone of contention that's called a pass and not a run.
It is a pass technically.
100%.
I mean, I'm not sure that it should be. I don't disagree with him, but. And that's going to be Reiner on the 2-point conversion. It's 24-0 Macomb. as the Bombers have opened up a very convincing lead now over the Chargers, and what looked like it had the makings of a very good football game to start with. And the Bombers have taken control. This game brought to you after the Tom Conklin State Farm touchdown by Tom Conklin State Farm. Face-to-face, over the phone, by email, or by text. You choose how you do business with Tom Conklin State Farm, Macomb. You can reach them at 309-837-1200 or visit them online at www.macombsf.com. Better yet, stop in and get a quote today at 1221 West Jackson Street in Macomb. And Midwest Ice, do you need ice for your upcoming event? Look no further. Midwest Ice has you covered. Midwest Ice is Central Illinois' newest ice delivery service. We deliver ice directly to your event. Call Blaine Wrench at 309-351-8192 for a quote today. This was a Stay Hydrated Initiative event tonight, not here at Illini West, but at West Prairie for the Iron Spike Bowl, as the Cyclones and the Spartans are playing, and the Cyclones trying to better their position in the I-8FA playoffs. The Spartans just trying to, and it's going to drop. It's going to be picked up, and a little bit of running room. Left side. Is that number 21?
That ball was kicked about as well as you can if that pooch is your plan, but the kickoff return team that Illini West has set up tonight is not very conducive to the pooch kick, because they've got a hands team up front, because Macomb will onside about 60% of their kicks, and they've got that next row. They've got 9 guys up fairly tight, so there's not a lot of room to get a pop fly in there.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for the Chargers. Somebody's revving the old motor up a little bit on the far side. Bergman, I don't know who he's throwing that to. Braden Holdhouse is out there, and he's got the interception. Braden Holdhouse was the only quote-unquote receiver back there, and he just ran under it. Looked like maybe Bergman thought the receiver was just going to run a go route, and the receiver kind of hitched, it looked like. I'm not sure what happened there.
Seemed like the receiver kind of came up jogging a little bit. I didn't know if he was going to run an in or if he was going to, like, a square in, but it seemed like he just kind of started jogging.
Tyler, I apologize. Touchdown still on the screen. I'll fix it. I should know better than to ever push that button, shouldn't I, Tyler?
Dang it, Dwayne.
That's it's going to be a pass out to Jeter. JT Jeter on the reception.
That's excellent pursuit by the safety. Jeter gets away from the cornerback, but nowhere to go.
2-yard catch for Jeter.
Good job wrapping up around his entire body, too.
Jeter has 98 yards receiving. Duncan now back to Jeter again, into the flat. Another short gain out to about the 30. It's going to be a gain of, well, not to the 30, I guess. We're going to call a gain of 4 on that one.
Well, he's at 100 exactly now, then.
102, actually.
Oh.
It's all right. Math was never Tegan's strong suit.
Well, I might have said the wrong number. It was 98. Oh, there was a broken play. Duncan wanted to hand off left, and there was nobody there. He's just going to tuck it and run, and he'll have a Sports Corner first down on his first carry of the night from the 29 out to the – well, he went for a big gain.
Yeah, he got a chunk there.
Gain of 8 on the play.
Jack got injured as a freshman in the second week of the season against Canton, and was out for most of the season, which really took a decision out of my hands, which is probably a good thing. But we were really excited about the running abilities of Jack, and as he came out as a sophomore, he just wasn't as comfortable pulling that ball down and taking off. And even last year, not too much, but this year he's really remembered that he has that aspect of his game, and he's taken off a bit.
Reiner with a big run around the right side, and he's going to go for another Sports Corner first down. Reiner from about the 37 into Chargers territory. It's a 10, 15-yard gain for Reiner. Sports Corner first down. Duncan now is going to go left side. That's Langdon Allen. He makes one guy miss, makes another guy miss, cuts it upfield. He'll have another Sports Corner first down. Langdon Allen, a gain of, boy, they didn't give him very much forward progress.
Oh, my goodness.
He was all the way. One official is, they're going to only give him to the, they're going to give him a gain of 11, but, man, I thought he was farther than that.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Langdon Allen has some of the best feet on this team. He's right next to Denzel with how shifty he can be on his feet.
Reiner again, this time not a first down. The first play in 4 that wasn't a first down run. And Reiner, though, is going to go for a gain of 6. It's going to bring up second down and 4. They've been running these plays so fast I haven't been able to keep up with my addition. Be quiet, Tegan. Handoff's going to go to Reiner left side. He cuts it up the middle, runs over one defender, runs over a second defender, finally going to be brought down. He's from the 30 down inside the 15. We'll see where they mark it.
I think it's at the 13. Yeah.
It is. We'll call it the 13, a gain of 17. Another Sports Corner first down. Right back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's the ISO.
And it's going to be the run by Reiner again. This time he tried to bounce. Oh, he breaks a tackle, keeps his feet moving. I don't think he's going to gain anything, but that was the longest 0-yard gain run you're ever going to see. They're going to give him 1 on the play.
Yeah, that time they ran that ISO again. They ran it to the plus side, and it seemed like Max peeled off of Lindsey May's hip a little bit and tried to break outside, and there was nothing there. He needed to stay right in with Lindsey.
98 yards for Reiner. Slant this time goes incomplete, intended for Langdon Allen. 15th pass attempt for the Bombers, and the 3rd incompletion. Make that the 4th incompletion for Jack Duncan.
I was going to say, I've noticed this so far this drive. It seemed that they focus more on punching the ball out and trying to get the ball out rather than getting up for the secure tackle. I think they're in the mode where they want to get the ball as fast as possible and not let them score.
Handoff's going to go to Cochran this time. He's going to try to run over a defender. He can't get the job done. Chandler and friends there on the tackle. A gain of another 1. It's going to bring up 4th down and 8.
Think he fades out?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, he could. I'd really like to see on that isolated route over there on the field side to see a nice little post on a double move, see if he can get the cornerback's feet moving.
They tried to hard count there to jump, no doing for the Chargers. Tried it again.
They have Cochran in the backfield.
And Lindsey May actually moved that time.
There's going to be a timeout here.
And waiting for the official to count down. There's the time, and there comes Coach Tanner Horrell and the coaching staff with the timeout for the Bombers. This game being brought to you by Western Illinois University. At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in because purple stands out. At WIU, there is limitless potential with campuses in Macomb, Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out. It is homecoming weekend, a lot of football and important football in the area this week, and this is when football's always fun, right, guys? But this is when it becomes really fun, when the second season's right around the corner.
Yeah, a lot of tradition here when it comes to just any school in general. You want to embrace your tradition. Everyone comes back here. Everyone's coming out for a good time. We saw that during the LVC game with one of the fans. So homecoming really brings out the most passionate fans out of everyone, I'd say.
So the timeout is completed. Second timeout of the half for the Bombers. They face a 4th and 8 at about the 11 or 12-yard line here as we get ready to go. Second quarter action.
Now you may see your fade. You've got trips to the field, and you've got JT isolated on the bottom.
They're going to go to the slant, and it's Langdon Allen. Is that a slant or is that a post?
That's what they call a slop route. So what happens is the other 2 receivers in the trips clear off their defenders, and what he basically does is he runs kind of a soft curl wherever he finds space. So Jack just has to track him into the open area and get him the ball.
So Langdon Allen, BT, gets the touchdown. Here's a handoff to Reiner, and he's going to go in for the 2-point conversion.
Best part about Max Reiner, he just takes people with him. Doesn't matter where he's going. You wrap around him, you're going 2-3 yards with him, no matter what.
Sorry about that, Tegan. A Tom Conklin State Farm touchdown for the Bombers with 2:31 remaining in the first half. They've scored a touchdown and got the 2-point conversion each time. They lead 32-0. And when this has the feel of the Havana game to some extent, I think, guys, because Havana did the same thing. They drove down the field, except they got a touchdown the first time, but they drove down the field, controlled the clock, and you're like, hey, this might be a football game. Chargers did the same thing tonight, didn't get in the end zone, and it's been all Bombers since then.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what we talked about is you've got to be able to finish those drives off if you're going to play the clock game, because the Bombers can score. They're famous for one-play drives.
Yeah, they can definitely.
Ian Case is out the kick now, I think. 81, yeah.
Probably going to be a deep kick, and they might have just heard exactly what you were talking about, Coach Weston, as this isn't conducive to that.
And now you see the kickoff coverage has spread a bit.
Yep, kickoff coverage is spread, and the deep kicker, for lack of a better term, is on the field, Ian Case. The big long run, it's a nice deep kick. Return from the 20-yard line. And a little bit of running room. It's Lemaire. And he's going to go out with about an 18-yard return, maybe 19. We'll see where they mark it at. But it's going to be 1st and 10 Chargers.
Yeah, you're gonna end up within 10 yards of the same field position that typically happens, because the kick travels further down the field, but it's a low line drive directly at the returner, which doesn't give your coverage much opportunity to get down there. So
that also gives good opportunity for a return too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also say this. I'll take one out of Weston's book. Those Killer Bees did a really good job being able to swoop around and make sure that returner did not get outside.
Bergman going to take a snap again. He was intercepted on his last pass by Braden Holdhouse. Going to be a quarterback draw again, and nothing doing, and it's Max Reiner. Reiner is there almost every time. It kind of gives you the feel that maybe he's spying a little bit on Bergman.
Yeah, he very well could be, but he also is one of those football players that's very fast twitch, high energy, the Energizer Bunny. And I think that a lot of times you learn your athletes and you play to their strengths, just like we were talking about with Carter Hogue. And I think they turn him loose a lot of times. They say, Max, you go make a football play. Everybody else do your job.
To be fair, Max, he'll do whatever he wants.
To be fair. Oh, goodness. That was a joke on the way down here, folks, that we can't really get into. Bergman's going to hand off, and a short gain. It's going to be a gain of about 2.
So you're in another 3rd and long situation, which is not what – well, Illini West has the ability to move the ball in chunks. It's just right now several factors at play, the wind and the speed of the secondary of Macomb. They're really not interested in testing the ball downfield, as we saw earlier. When they did, the Holdhouse came up with the interception. But when you get, in long situations like this, it really makes it difficult.
Peyton Brown was on the carry. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 for the Chargers. And in their own territory, they have not spent a whole lot of time in Bomber territory since the first 2 drives. Bergman going to keep it again, and this time it's going to be Reiner again meeting him after a gain of about 1. It's going to bring up 4th down and 7.
This defense is just not letting this Chargers offense breathe at all. It's suffocating them.
And that was the 2 state qualifiers there met in the middle, right at the ball carrier. That was Ethan Ladd and Max Reiner, and that's 2 guys that you don't want meeting you at the same time.
No, I don't. I think Bergman is going to have dreams of 13 hitting him overnight tonight. He has been there every time. And here's the snap. It's high. Bergman's going to bobble it, and he's going to get brought down in the backfield, and it's back there is Lindsey May, and it's a turnover on downs. Bergman gets charged with the run, unfortunately for him, from about the 38-yard line. He's going to lose 9, and it's going to bring up
And I tell you what, there's only 7 seconds left in the half, and if that punt goes off, Tanner Horrell takes a knee if the clock doesn't run out on the punt return. But right now, you're at the plus 29. You have no reason not to take a shot, and he's got one timeout left in his pocket. So this may be 2 plays.
Yeah.
Duncan, he's got 2 receivers that can go up in the end zone and catch something too. They're going to try it into the flat. Jeter's there. He's going to run it out to the outside. He's got one man to beat. And he's going to get tackled out of bounds, but the quarter is going to come to an end, and the half as well. And a gain of, from the 29.
29.
From the 29, excuse me, down to.
Wait, I think they're saying that they're
14.
Oh. No, I think some of the refs think there's time left.
No, I don't think so. He waived it. That he was stopped in bounds.
A 15-yard reception, another Sports Corner first down to end the half. That's 16 passes for Duncan. 15 yards on that one. Unofficially 168 yards. Twelve of 16 for 168 yards and a pair of touchdowns for Jack Duncan in the first half. We'll talk about some stats when we come back. You're watching Arnold Brothers coverage of Macomb Bomber Sports on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Live from Illini West High School in Carthage, Illinois.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I told about the staff of MDH, they're all good. And you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and they care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
chose MDH. We moved here and I was researching different places that would allow me to VBAC, have a vaginal birth after C-section, and the doctors here do encourage that, and so I chose that after looking online, and I wouldn't want to deliver anywhere else because they all go above and beyond, and they're so kind and actually care about you.
And welcome back to Carthage, Illinois, as Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling brings Bomber Sports to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. As you can see on the Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling scoreboard, 32-0 Bombers at the half. And really, the Chargers defense came up with one stop in plus territory for the Bombers that prevented this from being a running clock the entire second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And to tell you the truth, it really looks like, in contrast to some of the dynamic games we've seen earlier, the Bombers are really just kind of letting things come to them. They're not going out and attacking all that much. For example, first play from scrimmage is a little hitch that goes to Langdon Allen that he himself takes for what was it, 50 yards?
55.
55 yards. So there hasn't been a lot of over the top. There hasn't been a lot of that attacking. Their blitzes have been actually 5-man pressures more often than not. They haven't been bringing the 6- and 7-man pressures that Coach Wilson will bring. They're just letting the game come to them, and there's been some mistakes on Illini West on their part that have really led to the position we're in right now.
Taking it, I think the nice part for you having Coach Weston up here is you get to watch the line a little more. You've seen some good stuff from the offensive and defensive line of the Bombers.
Yeah, I really have. Mostly just Brandon Sprinkle. He's been everywhere today. I haven't seen him a lot on defense, but on offense, it's like almost every time he's either taking someone to the ground, taking someone out of the play, or he's just holding his blocks well and being a great pass blocker. Last year, he wasn't a starter on, I think, either offense or defense, and now this year he might be one of the best linemen on this offensive line, right next to Ethan Ladd.
It's absolutely awesome that the Chargers have a marching band, but this might be the smallest marching band I've ever seen. It's
9.
But at the same time, I'm going to guess that there's probably football players that are in band, and obviously they can't be in marching band. But it's awesome that they get out here and take the time to do this, even with small numbers. A lot of schools would say, we're not going to do marching band, but it's awesome to see him out here doing this. Tyler Cummins is watching us. I think he's watched us every night. He pointed out, I did tell him about 4 weeks ago to tell me when I leave the touchdown marker on the scoreboard, and he had to tell me with a big smiley face tonight that I left the touchdown marker on. Sometimes I get caught up in doing other things and forget to turn it off. So, Tyler, I greatly appreciate it. Folks, if you're at home watching, Jessica LaGrange is watching tonight. She says, go Bombers. If you're at home watching from wherever you're watching from, whether you're a Chargers fan or a Bombers fan, hop into live chat. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, whether that be a team or a specific player. We love to see that. And the cool thing is a lot of these kids go back and watch these games, and the live chat comes back up as you do it, so they'll get to see who was rooting for them throughout, until YouTube decides to take down our broadcast, I guess. So, but, you look at it's been so many times this year we've been in this same position. The Bombers are up big going into the second half. I don't think tonight you're going to start you're going to at least get to 40 before you take your starters out probably. But, you played 4 quarters last week, which I guess is good, but you want to win. But at this point in the season, you don't want to get hurt, but you need to get some 4-quarter football in, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that was discussed. The coaching staff was talking amongst themselves, and that was really a reason that Rova game in week 4, I believe, was such a good thing is they played 4 quarters, close to it, and really gave them a chance to make sure that their horses' gas tanks were ready to go, and there's been a few games like that. Elmwood was a game that they got to play the whole game for the most part. Last week, obviously, was that got last 5 minutes, second half of the fourth quarter. I think that both teams pulled their guys, but yeah, for the 3.5 quarters, and it's odd that you talk about that where you're like 3.5 quarters is a good full game for the Bombers, but most of that second half, you realize that you're not in any danger. You don't have what they call high pressurized downs. And that's something that the coaching staff has talked about, and that's something that they've got to prepare for. But if everything comes down to your show tomorrow night, are they 3A, are they 4A? Because the best thing in the world that could happen for them is to have a salty 5-4 team that comes onto their field and pushes them and keeps it to a two touchdown game, so that they're not too stressed out, but at the same time they got to play football for 4 quarters under pressurized conditions.
Yeah, that's the thing and we talked about this maybe in the pregame, but definitely I've said this to several people I talked to. Just the fact that the Bombers, I don't think you could say that they've ever felt threatened this year. I mean, I don't feel like watching. I've watched every game except West Hancock. and I don't feel like they've ever been truly threatened this year.
No, because you alluded to it earlier. They had the pick six at Elmwood, and Rova really punched back. That was the first time that somebody really punched back, and they had a slugfest for the first half, first quarter and a half maybe, but that's the first half. I don't think that they've ever felt any need to sweat in the second half all year, not for a single minute of the second half.
And that's just because most of their athletes are already talented so much, is that they, as we've seen over the last couple of games, they really haven't had to run so much plays on offense. So it's mostly been the defensive show out there. Once Macomb starts really getting into their offense more and more as we get into the postseason, they might come out even more deadly than they have on the field so far, because once you get that offense clicking for longer periods of time, it's just going to spiral out of control for the other team.
Want to say hi to Jeff Worley, who says, go Drake, number 11. That'd be Drake Mudd for the Chargers. Thanks for joining us tonight. Malachi Butler, Melanie Butler, says big number 79, just turned 18 yesterday. It is that time of the year, isn't it? Some of these kids starting to become we call them young men anyway, but they're truly becoming adults this senior year.
Well, yeah, I wish she would have got me that information earlier. We had him in class. I would have liked to have said happy birthday to big Malachi.
And he's a kid that played really well earlier this season, hasn't seen as much playing time, but that's not because he doesn't have some ability to play. There's just some really good players on this team.
And he's one of them. There are so many players on this team that we've gotten a chance to watch grow up from junior high and freshman level football, and he's one of them where he's really fought through some adversity and worked hard and gotten himself some really meaningful reps, on the football field. And I'll tell you, one of the best stories I've ever seen in my close to 20-year coaching career is standing right here on my right is Tegan Perry, watching his evolution from a freshman wrestler to a senior wrestler, where he had his first win was at the regional, helping us get a regional title as a freshman, but he had some times there where he really had to learn, and both as a football player and a wrestler. He ends up 12 seconds away from the state tournament, and he ends up having some real meaningful snaps on that football team his senior year. So I really love those kind of stories.
Tegan, you knew you were going to play, didn't you?
Look, I'm going to be honest. Going up against
Wait, no, don't.
Really good
don't be honest.
No, going up against a lot of really good players last year, like Cade Weston, Jordan Drawn, not necessarily on the offensive line, but just the other seniors in general. It was a really tough battle to get there to where I was, but after just years and years of working hard and just going to every single practice, even when I was out for most of the 2020 season, I still went, I still gave it my all, and eventually spot opened up for me, and I never looked back. It was full on the gas all the way there, and I'll admit that I've had times where the games weren't good. I've had times where I looked terrible, but then I've had really great games, so it's really nice to see a lot of people overcome adversity, especially Malachi Butler.
I've never gotten the chance to ask you. You just brought it up. Going in practice every day, rep after rep after rep, against Cade Weston. I happen to know that young man a little bit, and that had to be a handful, not because of how big and strong he is, but because that young man goes after it every play. I don't care if it's practice, game, hallway, doesn't matter. He's coming after you.
He gets in your head, too. He talks a lot. Same thing with Carter Hogue, too. He really gets in your head and really starts to bring out the mean guy in you no matter what.
Well, we don't want to see the mean guy in Tegan. You won't like me angry. You know what? Coach Weston laughed at that because he's the only one that knew what I was talking about right there. For all you incredible Hulk fans out there. Yeah. Jacob Fuhr is watching as well. Says, great to hear your voices. Well, Jacob, we appreciate that. Hopefully you can enjoy the second half here, whether you're a Bombers fan or a Chargers fan. John Burton is on the camera. Spencer Kilburn is here. He's going to be a new addition to our crew as we move forward into basketball season and so on. He's going to do some audio and some video kind of stuff, I think. And I coached him in baseball back in the day in high school, and so he's still. It's funny because I know you as Coach Weston. He's calling me coach all the time. I haven't been called coach for a few years.
Oh, no kidding. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I learned from my father that it doesn't matter. When you're a coach, you will always be coach. My father stopped coaching in 1975, and unfortunately we lost him last summer. But the week before he passed, former players showed up at the house, and they're all calling him coach, and Dad was a part of their lives from the time they were 18 and 19, 20-year-olds until they're retired. So, yeah, you will always be coach. I'll tell you that. You just said Jacob Four. Was that who was on there? F-U-H-R?
Yep.
Jacob, great to hear from you. I'm glad you're listening, man. Get a hold of me, please.
Class of 2020.
Yeah.
Also another really mean offensive lineman I had to go up against. Those were some days.
It's that's the cool thing about being able to, I didn't go to Macomb, I went to Bushnell, but I've spent years talking about Bushnell football. But being able to talk to this live chat, I feel like the live chat for me is like the most fun part of all of this because you get to talk to people. I've got to know people almost just through talking to them through live chat. And, it's we take the things out that shouldn't be in there. And, occasionally you get some spam stuff in there. But it's really cool, just like Jacob saying, hey, it's great to hear your voices. It's awesome for people that to come in and you get to – we can't – obviously we're not talking back and forth, but they can type to us and we can answer. It's a pretty cool little deal. Absolutely.
And I tell you what, I forgot. I wish one of my former wrestlers is a young man named Danny Guzman's moved out to Arizona, and when I'm on the air with Justice, he always either tweets or texts me and says, hey, give me a shout out on that. I'm going to be listening on the radio, and I forgot to let him know I was on a different station tonight. But
he can go back and watch it now. You can message him and say, hey, this is where it's at. You can go hear your shout out.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's we talked about what I learned from my father, and that's those types of things. And Danny Guzman is one of those athletes we had that was a great story, and where he started and where he ended up, and he's now got a master's degree, an accountant, and is well into his 20s, and he's still a part of our lives. And those things are the great thing about coaching.
And I say that's probably the best part about being a coach, I assume, right?
Absolutely, is the relationships, the kids, and seeing them from where they start to where they end up, and guys like you, Tegan. That is exactly. Coach Ladd and I may have every once in a while, very rarely, given you a little guff. But
I can't believe anybody would ever give Tegan any guff.
But I'll tell you right now, Tegan, you're one of those reasons that Coach Ladd and I coach, and we love you. You know that, and yeah, I'm a little biased, but I think it's the greatest profession you can enter into.
This game being brought to you tonight by M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store. M&B Furniture is a mainstay in the community and offers free delivery within 40 miles. For everything you need to furnish your new home or replenish an old one, stop and see the fine folks at 481 West Main Street, or find them on Facebook, Instagram, or on the web at www.mnbfurniturinc.com. You can also call them at 309-772-2111. And the Community News Brief. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief weekly edition, mailed directly to your home every Friday. As an option, you can also go online and download their Monday and Wednesday free editions. All this for only $42 per year. Cheaper if you're 65 or older. I look 65 or older. Do you think that would count? Probably not.
I feel 65 or older.
I feel 90. I don't know, but that
I
guess I don't really know what 90 feels like, but I have to think that I sometimes feel like what 90 feels like. I'm not real sure, though. Anyway, single copies of the Community News Brief can be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, Blandesville, and, of course, Macomb. Todd Moon is joining us tonight. He says, great addition to have Coach Weston on tonight. We agree. We do agree, Mr. Moon.
Oh, thanks, Todd. Class of 92, my guy. What's up?
Are you what year did you graduate?
1992.
Hey, me too.
Oh, no kidding.
From Bushnell, though. But, yeah, I was a 92 graduate also. So we're right. I just look old. That's what I tell everybody. I just look old. I'm not really that old. I just look really old. So that's why, of course, I tell guys like Spencer and John and Tegan that, and they just tell me I am old. See how that works? My daughter's 15. She's here tonight. She goes to Illini West, and I'm surprised she hasn't come to tell me that I'm old yet, to be honest with you.
You still have a good 40, 50 years. You're not old.
If I go downhill as much as I have in the last 10, I don't want another 40 or 50 years. You know what I'm talking about, Coach Weston?
Yeah, I tell you, let's not get into all the aches and pains, but we could probably fill the second half with them, I'm certain. But I'll tell you, in my job, I was just talking to this with some kids in class today. I've chosen 2 sports to coach, football and wrestling in particular, that are warrior sports, that are combat sports, and I've stuck with wrestling. And this winter I'm going to be a practice partner with number 54 Ethan Ladd and Max Reiner, and we're trying real hard to get Brandon Sprinkle to come out and help us. And my wife's listening right now. I'm sorry, honey, that's just the way it is. I'm going to jump out and be there with these guys and try and help them get better. But man, it's getting harder and harder every year.
For me, getting down on the floor isn't the problem. Getting up off the floor is the problem.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
I don't know, man. It just seems to get harder the older you get. There's no doubt about it. But we want to thank everybody for listening. We still got another half of football. If you're the Chargers, I mean, it would take a small miracle, right, to get back into this game and get a win. What do you accomplish going forward here, guys, as we look to the second half in a game that appears at least to be out of hand?
Well, I think right now that you can't have that mindset. I think for as long as you can possibly hold on to hope, because as we talked about at the onset of this program, playoff is on the line. So they're going to do everything they can. I think that at this point, sticking to the game plan might not be in the best interest. I think you got to start pushing the ball down the field. You got to try and get chunk plays. You got to try and create something. But once that hope does go away, then you might start sprinkling in some younger guys and kind of giving some opportunities and give your seniors a chance to leave the field with grace. Those are the things that start to filter into your mind as that hope starts to drain away.
Tegan, as a former player, Coach Weston was as well, but as a former player, what's your perspective on that? In a game 32-0, it's for a lot of these Illini West kids, it appears like it'll be their last football game. So what's your mindset if you're on that Illini West sideline right now?
Well, if you still have hope, I'm going to say this: it's 0-0. No matter what, there's still two quarters left of football. Miracles happen, anything can happen. However, if you're on the other side and you're like, you know what, this might be it, I might be done, go out there, have the best 2 quarters of football for the rest of your life, because you might never get that chance again.
Well, we're going to find out who takes whose philosophy and moves with it here. But I would imagine if it gets to a running clock, obviously it's done. If the Chargers can somehow get a stop on this first series and get a score, there's hope. Yeah. If they give up a touchdown, obviously, on this first drive, it's probably – with running clock, you're not going to outscore the Bombers 40 to nothing.
That's going to be a problem. And I tell you, I guarantee you that was the bulk of the halftime conversation is we're going to get that ball in the end zone as quick as possible, and let's get that clock running. And Bill Connell from QND used to say, you need to eliminate hope as quickly as possible.
Yeah, the hope dwindled quickly there in the second quarter for Illini West, but maybe I'm too much of a realist, but this is a hard game to come back on. You haven't really showed the ability, but as a senior, like Tegan said, you got to go out there and play every down as hard as you can play, whether this is your last game. And that's the thing that kind of gets me. I was talking to somebody today about whether when you're playing your friends, like Illini or West Prairie and Bushnell were 21-12 in that game last time we checked. But those kids played with each other up until 2 years ago. So you get on the field and do you play as hard or harder or softer? I was always one of those people that really didn't matter. If I was on a basketball court or badminton or football, it didn't matter if you were my best friend or my worst enemy. You're going to get treated the same on the basketball court. So what is your thought with this last little, like you said, last 2 quarters? You want to go out and play no matter what happens. You're going to play your hardest 2 quarters, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. It's playing like your life's on the line. And that's how we did during Murfreesboro. We unfortunately didn't have a much favorable second half, but no matter what, we never gave up. We never stopped. We always believed in ourselves, and we never got down on each other. Just just it really does suck for some of these seniors who, and I've been through that emotion recently, and I totally get where they're at right now. Just you got to keep your head up.
Monica Fox says, "Let's go Bombers." BT on the run tonight. BT is, by the way, Langdon Allen for Boogie. What was it? Boogie Tiptoes. And or Boogie, yeah, that was what it was. They're going to try the onside kick. It's going to come to the 10-yard line, bobble around, and be recovered by the Bombers on the far side. Braden Holdhouse maybe coming up with that. No, it's not Braden. It is Braden Holdhouse coming up with the onside kick. 1st and 10 Bombers at the, let's call it the 50-yard line.
Last drive of your life. That's how you got to view it.
Well, Monica, I'll tell you what, we appreciate your input, but Monica, you know that the young man's name is Booger.
We stole that from you, actually.
Booger Allen.
Yeah, they were calling him Tippy Toes, so we started calling him BT a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of stuck.
The Cyclones are up 28-12 right now.
And there's Cochran with another Sports Corner first down to the 37-yard line. A 13-yard run for Denzel Cochran. Gives him 27 yards on 4 carries. Another Sports Corner first down, and the Bombers pick up right where they left off in the first half. And it's going to be Lindsey May to the right side of Duncan this time. He's going to throw left side, does Duncan, to Langdon Allen. Not going to be able to break the tackle over there that time. I'll see if I can see who was on the tackle over there. Cannot see who was on the tackle over there. But it's going to be a gain of about 5. It's going to bring up, give him 6. A gain of 6.
That was 44 we saw earlier tonight.
Handoff's going to go to Cochran. He's got some running room. He'll have another Sports Corner first down to the 25-yard line. The ball came. Oh, they're going to give it to the Chargers.
That's what you need. That's what you need, 100%. Now you got to do your own game. You got to do your own game.
The ball ripped away by number 12, Ian Bensinger. And Bensinger comes out with it all the way out to the 36-yard line to fumble by Cochran. And I'm not sure if he gained any yards before he fumbled it or not.
No, he did. He had about 5 or 6 yard gain. I was just going to say he was running between the tackles, which we don't see a lot of with Denzel Cochran. And you could see right there that their plan was to hold him up and strip that ball. Number 55 just came and fist bumped along the offensive line saying, "Believe, we got to do this."
And Bergman finds a receiver on the far side. That's Lemaire. It's near a first down. It is going to be a first down on a 10-yard gain from Bergman to Lemaire. And it's 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. And Coach Weston, you said it's not over yet. They got what they needed, the turnover. Now let's see if they can respond with a touchdown.
You could see everything in their mannerisms right now. Everything about them is they are emitting confidence. They are emitting hope. I'm sure Coach Lafferty and Coach Klein were in there letting them know that this is not over. They just tried to draw Macomb off sides, but everything about them right now is it's time to play.
Espinoza can't pick up the pass from Bergman. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Chloe Stone King says, "Let's go BT," number 82, Bombers. You are doing a great job. And then Sierra Williams said, "So glad you've carried that nickname, Weston."
Yep.
Booger Tippy Toes,
Yep.
Tyler Cummins points out.
Yep.
So a lot of fun in the chat, but not a lot of fun on the field right now for the Bombers as they've turned the ball over, and the Chargers have a little bit of breath here and a little bit of life as the pass is incomplete.
That was a 6-man pressure that Dave Wilson just drew up right there.
Intended for the aforementioned Drake Mudd. That's who Mr. Jeff Worley was talking about earlier, but the pass falls incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
The only other thing that Dave Wilson loves, other than stuffing up the middle, is pressuring the quarterback. He loves it whenever any of his defensive linemen just get even an inch closer to him. He loves it.
That's the name of the game, and you know that Illini West has to score quickly. They have to pick up yards in chunks.
There's the shovel pass. Going to come outside and it breaks one tackle.
He didn't get much of a gain.
That was Lemaire on the shovel pass, and I don't even know if he gained. He might have lost a yard. After all that, he loses a half yard, no gain on the play, and it's 4th down and 10. As Lemaire did a whole lot of running. We've seen several plays like that tonight, guys, that have had a whole lot of running across the field, not a lot north and south.
Yeah, a lot of east to west. They're going for it here. That sense of urgency is here. And
I mean, you have to at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bergman's going to step back in the shotgun again. Going to drop back. Looks right. He's under pressure. Lofts it upfield. And he's got a receiver open. It's Lemaire.
Oh, no. It's dropped.
No, it was dropped. Jeter almost came up with it, I guess. It's going to be a turnover on downs, 1st and 10 for the Bombers. I need to just watch the camera instead of watching the field.
I'm not sure if Weston saw it, but it seems like Jeter knocked the ball out of his hands as he was coming down, like he got his hand in there.
You're 100% right. So what happens is that ball goes up. The receiver makes a nice play on it. Jeter, as he does, comes over the top. They both have their hands on it. JT Jeter is such a smart, cerebral football player. As he's coming down, I think he realizes this is better to knock away, and he punched the ball out rather than to fight for the ball.
Duncan, a handoff to Reiner now, and he's going to go up the middle, then bounce it outside, and he's going to be brought down from behind. A big play for the Chargers. And that's number 12 again. It's number 12 is Ian Bensinger, and it's no gain on the play for Reiner.
Got to get fired up somehow.
Oh, he's an emotional leader right now. Just watching his presence on the field, he's not done.
Yep, that's for sure. Joseph Fox says you guys have done a great job this year. Love watching the broadcast. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate that. As the Bombers now taking a little time at the line of scrimmage. Duncan with 3 wide receivers to the far side. He's going to drop back, throw left near side to the short side of the field to Jeter, and Jeter's going to stretch for a first down. A Sports Corner first down, an 11-yard gain, and the Bombers get another set of downs.
So that's that hitch right there. He's able to shake the cornerback and get about another 6 yards before he's brought down by the safety. And I think number 12 is straying out from his outside linebacker position and playing a little bit out on Jeter.
Reiner on the carry again. Not much that time, no gain.
Good penetration by the defensive line there. They were able to get off the offensive lineman blocks and be able to wrap up Max. Unfortunately, as much as we think we can, Max versus 5 other guys isn't that favorable for him.
14 carries, 98 yards for Max Reiner. He's had more 0 and 1, 2s, and 3s than he's normally had all year. Now it's going to go left side. Langdon Allen on the completion. A gain of about 5 from Jack Duncan.
Yeah, and they're still in that.
And Allen's getting up slow.
Come on, Booger.
I think he just got hit a little bit too hard.
Gain of 4, they're actually going to call it.
And then number 1, Drew Watson. He's been streaky all year. They might try throwing it to him now. Oh, no.
Jones. Handoff's going to go to Reiner. Reiner's going to have a first down, a Sports Corner first down for Max Reiner. A gain of that official just keeps wandering back to the left. Did you notice that? It's a gain of 6 on the play for Reiner. Gets him over 100 yards to 104. Another Sports Corner first down for the Bombers.
He's also over 1,000 yards on the season now.
Yep. He's looking to get 115.
There's the shovel pass to Jones, who slipped, bounces out, and then tries to get outside. And Bensinger's there, and he's still going to break another tackle.
There's a flag
on the play. And it took 5 different blue jerseys to try to bring him down. And there is a flag that probably is going to be a holding, I'm guessing.
It's either a hold or a face
But
mask.
you almost, yep, it's a hold. Daryl Ippinson. I would think you'd take the play, wouldn't you, since he lost?
I think, yeah, lost. And I tell you, that's very tough for an official right there, because at what point do you feel he set his feet and reestablished himself? Because first contact was made.
They took the penalty.
They took the penalty, wow.
From the spot, which was 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to end up being an 11-yard penalty.
Oh, man.
That's a surprise to me.
Yeah,
First and 20 is like nothing for Macomb.
Well, I like it for Macomb.
Yeah, you like it for Macomb, but you don't like it. You take the down, right? I mean, now they're going to call a false start against the Bombers. But let's get back to that. Reason why the way the Bombers play offense, right? I mean, 1st and 20 is not any worse than 2nd and 15. Give them one less down, right?
I would think so, absolutely. And in my opinion, I was just starting to say, I think they got a bit of a gift anyway, because first contact was made not as maybe a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and they just kept going backward, and they had to rule that he'd reestablished himself at some point. But I would have thought forward progress would have been up a lot further.
Duncan.
Oh, that's miscommunication right there.
Threw a hitch or a stop route, and Jeter kept running.
Yeah.
And Jacob says, do you think Tanner would let me get some game time next week?
I think Tanner would, but unfortunately I don't think the IHSA will, Jacob.
It's a good thought, though. Can bring up 2nd down and 25 for the Bombers. So I guess that holding penalty doesn't look so bad right now.
Fair enough.
But now it'd be 3rd and 20, right, instead of 2nd and 25. Duncan's going to throw back. Coming back for the ball was Jones, and he can't hold on to it. Incomplete. 3rd down and 25 from the 40. 26, actually.
This is a situation where if you're Macomb, I just run the ball here. They're not going to probably expect it because you've been passing it so much. Hand it off to Max Reiner, you're probably going to get 10, 15 yards and make it a much manageable 4th and 10.
An H-back position for Lindsey May this time, and rolling right is Duncan. He's going to pump fake, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Losing more yards. Duncan's going to lose 7 more.
And now you've turned it into an opportunity where you do need to bring the punt team out onto the field.
There's not very many 4th and 33 plays in the playbook, is there?
There's really not.
I think this is a good time to bring up that they won't fake it here, obviously, but Jack is also their punter as well, so that's something to also worry about if you're.
Yeah, that's something we haven't got to talk about all year. There's a nice punt. It's going to bounce. Going to be picked up at about the 15-yard line, and very little to no gain on the return.
Oh.
And
we just got a flag
late
from the sideline late.
Lemaire on the return. He had a gain of 1 on the return. We'll see what the penalty is. It was after the play almost. It's at the 25-yard line. Personal foul against the Chargers. So that'll be half the distance to the goal from the 16-yard line. Correct?
Yeah, boy, you can't have that.
An 8-yard penalty?
Especially against this Macomb defense. If their game plan definitely has to be different from back here. If they don't get something good to go.
Yep, 1st and 10 at the 8 for the Chargers.
Boy, I tell you, you just make a second stop on this Macomb offense and get the ball back, and then you have a little extracurricular activity that pins you back inside the 10. That's tough.
Can't let emotions get to you. I understand that it's probably
I seem to recall emotions getting to you one time, Tegan.
One time.
And there's Mudd, and Mudd breaks a tackle, but he's not going to get anywhere as Braden Holdhouse comes back for the tackle. Holdhouse gets the stop. I think he's going to lose on the play from the 8 to the 5, a loss of 3.
Yeah, that was Carter Hogue made first contact, and Mudd was able to spin out of that. Holdhouse was held him up, and they let the play develop long enough that Carter made it back into the play there to clean it at the end.
Oh, they're saying that he lost 3 on the play.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said 1.
No, I said 3.
Said 3, Tegan. Calm down.
Look, emotions are high up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, offside on the Bombers. Going to bring up 2nd down and 8 from about the 10-yard line.
And that's one where they're not drawing off. That was just lining up over the ball, which has been something that they've been flagged for a few times this season.
How important is it to be that close to the line of scrimmage? I mean, I know you want to be as close as you can get, but, man, That's a mistake you just can't make, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't make. You got to be able to see the football. And
James Meredith.
Yeah, James. James has gotten very good this year at playing one-arm football, and what I mean by that is the gentleman coming out to block him. He's able to hold him and then determine which ways the ball's going, and he just puts one of those big old arms out there. He's a powerlifting champion.
Yeah.
And he's able to bring that running back down. He just fills that middle.
No gain for Bergman on the play. 3rd down and 8.
But, yeah, you got to be able to see the football, and sometimes when you're out on those ends, your angle's a little bit off. But you do want to be up close because you want to eliminate that time and the time to contact. Oh, that's a great, fantastic football play by Lindsey May.
They read the running back very easily on that one. Lindsey May just saw that he was running out there, and he immediately knew that was going to be a screen to him.
See, and this is unfortunate. So now, as you were talking about earlier, you got a situation where you're behind the sticks, you're deep in your own territory.
He lost 5 more.
4:15 left in the third quarter, but you got to punt because you're pinned deep.
Yeah, 4th and 13, and it's a situation where, I mean, this isn't even a good spot to punt. You're punting from a shorter snap than normal too. And
that was a beautiful punt.
Jeter's going to pick it up at about the 40. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and be brought down at the 37. And they did literally run into the kicker a little bit. I was waiting for a penalty.
Well,
there.
Yeah, I saw the white hat kind of put his hand on his hip and then thought better of it.
Yeah, Daryl Ippetson is the referee tonight. They're going to mark that at the 46. That's really generous. If this game was close, the Chargers sideline would be going nuts right now.
Yeah.
1st and 10 Bombers. Clock is running, or will be running, with 3:52 to play. It's still 32-0. No scoring here in the third quarter. Reiner around the left side. He's going to cut 5, 10, and get over about a 14-yard gain, maybe 15. We'll see where they mark it.
Having Reiner in open space is just terrifying if you're a defender. No matter what, you're going to have to go up one-on-one against him, and that's normally a matchup that Max likes to take.
A Sports Corner 1st down, a gain of 14. It's 118 yards on the ground tonight for Reiner.
I tell you, you're starting to see that body language change on the Illini West side of the football.
Reiner again, going to bounce it outside, down to the 10. Shorter gain that time.
You're starting to see that change because while you had 2 fantastic emotional stops.
Actually, he's down to 10. I'm sorry, it's another Sports Corner 1st down, 11-yard gain. Go ahead.
Yeah, you weren't able to generate any offense. They had right after that first turnover, they were able to get a 1st down on the first play, and since that time, they really haven't gained any yards. So, you've wasted not wasted, but obviously now the majority of the third quarter is gone. And
Reiner is just barreling forward. He's going to get another 6 or 7 on that carry, and he was hit about a yard past the line of scrimmage, broke a tackle. He gets 7. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 3 from about the 4-yard line. 136 yards on the ground unofficially for Reiner. And Duncan now is going to hand it right. Oh, the ball's on the ground. Duncan's going to fall on it. He's like, I'll let you keep your yards, Max. I'll fall on it and take the loss. He's going to lose about 8. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 11.
Yeah.
Think that went through his head right there?
Yeah, I don't. I think he protected the ball. But
he was like, oh, no, running clock is gone.
No, because now that goes against his yards.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'll take one for the team, Reiner. I'll let you keep your 8 there.
They're going to go split this time. They don't do this too often.
Reiner again, left side. He's got running room. And he's going to go for 1st down and to the end zone. Yes.
Touchdown.
Max Reiner. Another touchdown run, this time from the 12. A 12-yard touchdown run for Max Reiner. Give him 148 yards on the night and his 3rd touchdown.
Max Reiner got lifted there up on the 1-yard line, but he still tried to reach towards the end zone even while being in the middle of the air. Shows how determined he is to really get into that end zone.
So this is big. It's 38-0.
Yep.
This is the difference between a running clock at the moment and not. Duncan now going to hand up, fake the handoff to Ryder, goes to, and Jeter drops it right off the shoulder pads. That's why you're told to catch it with your hands, right, not the pads?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's big because that keeps the clock from running.
Yeah. If you're Illini West, regardless, you get to play more football, and that's honestly the best thing that you can think about right now because regardless, you're down by 5 possessions.
Joseph Fox says it may light it up. I'm not sure if he's talking about if Jacob was playing or what there. May not want to know for sure. But it's 38-0. Bombers get a Tom Conklin State Farm touchdown, and they are up 38-0 over the Chargers. And it is time for the Bombers to kick off again. This game being brought to you tonight by Sports Corner at 124, Macomb's original local sports bar. Sports Corner at 124 with a focus on local sports. Catch WIU games and all the area TSSR Game Time live broadcasts at Sports Corner at 124, all while enjoying your favorite cold drink and some of the best food in West Central Illinois. Stop in and say hi at 124 North Randolph Street in Macomb. And I'm telling you what, I'm a pony aficionado, and I'm thinking their pony is pretty good. I get a pony everywhere I go, and the Sports Corner's pony is legit, folks. And there's a nice kick. That might get to the end zone. Into the end zone it goes. It's going to be a touchback. Still not a lot of height, but it was deeper than the deep backs were for the Chargers, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 at the – is it still the 20 or is it 25 in high school? Still 20,
still
right?
Still the 20, yeah. I think the worst thing about that kick is it's on film.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So the Bombers' defense back on the field. Third quarter action here. Under 2 minutes, or actually still be 2:04 because nobody touched the kick, so the clock never started. As Spencer Kilburn on the camera now for us. I think he's been on the camera for the whole fourth quarter.
Yep.
Doing a fine job. If you are interested in helping us here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH, we'd love to have some more help with your high school student, junior high student, and they want the clock to run. Handoff's going to go right side. Brown on the carry, no gain.
That's the enforcer, Ethan Ladd, on the stop right there.
The linebackers are what makes and breaks this defense. I know the cornerbacks and safeties are very nice and all, but the linebackers are really what makes this because when it came to a lot of Illinois teams going on, you have a lot of runs up the middle, one runs to the side.
Oh, Joseph, I apologize. I didn't see when you made that. He was pointing about the play that Lindsey May lit up the Drake Mudd on the far side over there. Joseph, I apologize. I need to pay more close attention to when those messages come in, quite obviously. Bergman going to hand off again. No gain. What a job keeping the old legs moving there. And that's Chandler, I do believe, number 22.
Speaking of Chandler, congratulations to Tanner Horrell's sister, Chandler Atkinson, who
did she have the baby today?
She had the baby last night.
Well, last night. Coach Horrell, Steve Horrell, we're doing the Stay Hydrated initiative, and we brought Pepsi, Refreshment Services, Pepsi, Macomb, and Midwest Ice have teamed up with TSSR Game Time Live and Hulett PubliPro LLC to take Gatorade to area schools for games. And last week we did that for Havana and Macomb, and I forgot to get the coolers, and he told me I could get the coolers if there wasn't a baby yet. And Bergman's going to drop back, looks to there's Langdon Allen. There's got to be a flag. There's a couple of them come in. And Langdon Allen says, yeah, I know, I did it. BT didn't do the BT type things that time. So it'll be a pass interference penalty after the
Booger went in for that pick a little early.
Yeah.
He likes to anticipate a lot of things.
Yeah, he anticipating is what he anticipated there. A 15-yard penalty for the Bombers, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Chargers at their own 36-yard line. I think if you're going to
they're
look at
running hurry up.
Well, they're going to have to because there's not a lot of clock to work with.
Bergman to the flat. Lemaire is there. Meredith and who is that? Number 70 behind the play. Nick Holes having a little extracurricular fun. Look like they're getting ready for wrestling instead of blocking each other. But it's going to be Lemaire with a 4-yard completion from Bergman, and it's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. The Bombers lead 38-0. We'll take a break and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, in about 30 seconds.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
Welcome back, and discussing off air if we're going to Dairy Queen or not. John Burton votes yes. Coach Weston, I think, voted yes, even though he didn't ride with us. Tegan was like, "Why Dairy Queen?" What's Spencer say? Dairy Queen. That's a 3-1. Tegan can wait in a car.
Which is always actually the best option.
Wow, wow.
For Tegan or for everybody?
Yep.
He saw me. He saw me during regional wrestling. It was
tough crowd. Tyler Cummins says, "Coach Weston, my wife is very proud. Booger is stuck."
Uh-oh.
Bergman's going to throw across the middle. It's popped up, and coming back for it. Trying to come back for it was Connor Bishop. Had a hand on it, but couldn't bring it back to him. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 6. So those are the tip drills that's a tip drill that is not the normal tip drill, right?
Correct, yeah.
I mean, you tipped the ball up, but that was tipped and went a long ways after the fact, and Bishop was coming in to make the stop and just couldn't.
No, he had to contort his body and rotate and reached back. I mean, it was an amazing athletic attempt, and just to get his hand on it was really impressive.
I could have done it.
Could you?
Yep.
I'm going with no.
You see me watch JT Jeter.
Bergman now is going to drop back, throws it up in the air. Jeter is there for the PINT.
Speaking of JT Jeter.
I told you. He is not easy to cover against.
They're going to call it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody had something funny to say, I think.
No. Well, I'm watching the officials, and the side judge over here on the near side stops at the 32. The official placing the ball is at the 31. and they're lined up, and the official on the near side's waving his arm, and he's like, and the other official's like waving his arm. You need to go down another yard. Go down another yard. Oh, my goodness. Handoff goes to Reiner, a spin move. He's going to have another. Oh, no, he's going to be stopped short. A gain of 9.
Kind of called the whistle a little bit early there.
The blue jerseys are still flocking to the football.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, that's something to be proud of. There is no give up right now. We mentioned earlier that the shoulders were starting to fall a little bit, which is understandable, of course. But, they're still playing hard. They're going after it and giving everything they have. Uh-oh, yep.
That's the first time Jack's Cadence actually got their defense all day.
Yeah.
First down, a Sports Corner first down on penalty is going to bring up 1st and 10 from the 45 for the Bombers on their side of the 50-yard line.
And I think this is a show of respect by Coach Horrell. Is Macomb Bombers are not letting up. They're still have the playbook open because the clock's not running, and this is important for both sides. We talked about it at the top of the show. You don't want to assume anything. You want to keep playing football.
Langdon Allen overthrown, incomplete. Go ahead, Coach. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Absolutely. I think that oh, man, my wife was giving me guff for saying absolutely a lot earlier. But anyway, you don't want to take the foot off the gas here. You want to, and especially we talked about how do you prepare for the playoffs. This mindset has to be go 100% at all times. So right now they're trying to get to that running clock, and I don't think there will be any let up until that point.
I'm watching the camera right now. I can't believe how white this all-white jersey is still for the Bombers. There's a lot of white jerseys out there. They don't look very dirty. Reiner on the carry. He's going to break a tackle, keep his feet moving, breaks another tackle. He could break another one. He might go. He spins and steps out of bounds from the 45 down inside the 40 of the Chargers to the 42, a 17-yard gain to the 37, a 40 to 17-yard gain, a Sports Corner first down.
I'll give props to Illini West here. They, like you guys said, they haven't given up. They 100% believe that no matter what, it doesn't care what the score says, we'll win this game. And while that might not be the case, they still are playing like it's a close game.
Cochran on the carry now, bounces it outside, spins around and gets hit and then falls inside the 30. He'll be close to a Sports Corner first down as well. He'll get a gain of 11, a Sports Corner first down for Denzel Cochran.
And you notice right there when traffic started to close in, Denzel put both of the clamps on the football and almost started going down to the ground before the tackler got there.
Yeah, he's not going to let the same thing happen twice. Lightning's not going to strike twice. Handoff's going to go to Cochran this time. He's going to bounce it outside. Can he get to the corner? He cannot. Thrown down out there by Bensinger, and the ball came out, but they said he was down. And Bensinger again on the stop.
And 13's coming back onto the field.
Max is built different. That is true.
Yep. Tyler Cummings just said Max is built different. Is that a loss of 4 on that play or 5?
4.
Cochran loses 4 that time. Down to 40 yards on 7 carries. Reiner back in the backfield, as Coach Weston said. Duncan's going to take the snap from the shotgun position. Lindsey May to his left. Reiner's going to take from the deep setback position. Going to roll forward. And did Reiner fumble?
I think the ball came out late.
Yeah.
It's going to be a gain of 6 for Reiner. 180 yards on 22 carries for Reiner.
9:20 to go.
9:20. I apologize, folks. I cannot see the clock from where I'm sitting, essentially. I have to lean all the way out the window to be able to see it.
It feels like that's a common occurrence no matter where we go.
It does, doesn't it?
What's the clock saying? What do we do?
Duncan going to drop back to pass. Goes for Jeter. He's open down the sideline. Goes up to get it. And it is a touchdown for J.T. Jeter. A 25-yard touchdown pass from Duncan to Jeter. Eighth catch for Jeter. 138 yards on 8 catches. And his second touchdown, if my memory serves me correctly. Nope, that's his first touchdown.
Yeah, he had a 2-point conversion.
Yeah. How much time's left?
8:54.
Clock will run the rest of the way. Max Reiner gets the 2-point conversion run. 46-0. Bombers with the lead.
Again, regardless of how this outcome comes, hats off to Illini West. They really, no matter what, played their heart out, and it doesn't matter because I know for a fact that even though it's running clock, they'll play like it's nothing.
Dwayne just got a text from Chandler. She says, we're tuned in, and there's a picture of the brand new baby.
That is fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. That's the way to start off your young life, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was born the night before the Bombers capped that 9-0 season. Yeah, Chandler, Matt, love you guys, and congratulations. What a beautiful baby, and what a beautiful football game here tonight to finish out this beautiful season.
I'll say this, too, and I know that you're going to ask us when Tanner comes up here, but you're going to say, oh, did you get any sleep last night? So, like, after the baby and after all of that, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep for the next 5 days.
Monica Fox says Max goes through people like it's nothing, and he really does. He almost never goes down with the first contact, does he?
No, and that's something his sophomore year when we had him that we talked with him about is sometimes he tried to be one of those types of, is he going to get another touchback?
Yep.
Look at this.
Second touchback in a row, and that time it wasn't because they weren't deep. The Chargers were back at about the 10 or 5 yard line, and it still went over their head. A touchback for the Chargers. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line as we will have running clock the rest of the way. It's a Bombers lead 46-0. 8:54 is left on the clock. Again, nobody touched it. So,
but yeah, so his sophomore year, I remember we played Bushnell twice because Farmington had to pull out, and in that second game, you know, it's really tough to play somebody twice. And Bushnell had a lot of great athletes that year, and Max was trying to run on his tippy toes a little bit, and I had to get in with him a little bit at halftime and have a little one-on-one and remind him of who he was. And when he runs straight ahead,
a bunch of new numbers and faces in for the Bombers defense. Hernandez there on the stop, and the run by, is that Chandler?
No, Brown.
Brown on the carry. He's going to get up a first down. It's a 20-yard run for Brown, and it's 1st and 10 Chargers at the 40. So we wondered where the subs would come in. This is where they come in, right, Coach? Clock running
absolutely.
here in the fourth quarter.
Pardon me if I mentioned that that tackle made by another one of the wrestling lineup, Charlie Hernandez.
Another senior, actually, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he just came out as a junior, but he's really worked hard, and he's actually been training a little bit even during football season, coming in at nights, and he's really primed to make a name for himself this season.
Chandler a gain of 6 on that carry. 2nd down and 4 for the Chargers at their own 46-yard line. Score sheet all Bombers tonight thus far, but Chargers going to try. You know, you wonder why you're still out there playing so hard. It'd be nice to get that goose egg off the board as a football team, wouldn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Handoff's going to go to Bensinger this time, and he'll get a first down.
Well, and this is that point that Tegan was talking about earlier where
5 yards.
We've brought in our backups, but these guys have seniors that is now apparent that this is their final night of football, and probably for most of them, this is their career. And so, yeah, you want to get the goose egg off the field, but plus you want to savor these last few moments of what you have left, of your opportunity.
You know, Tyler Cummins says the Chargers' defense definitely stepped up tonight. In a 46-0 win, you say the defense for the other team played well, but they really did. I mean, they were on the field quite a bit. And there's Brown again on a carry.
And they got the Macomb got the football in some deep plus territory a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, they did make the Bombers work. I mean, we have not had this many plays from the Bombers all season long. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Reiner is up to 22 carries, and Jack has thrown the ball 22 times.
Well, and you talked about it, and Tyler mentioned that the Charger defense played well and did well against a very electric Macomb offense, and that's something we talked about earlier in the year in that Farmington game, which got away, and I talked about it being a snowball that was rolling downhill. I think at one point Macomb scored 5 touchdowns in 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was
with
crazy.
Kickoff turnovers, and there was an interception and a fumble. But Farmington's a good football team, a very well-coached football team with some very, very good athletes on their side. If they play that game 99 more times, it's not going to have that result again. And I'm not saying that Macomb would lose, but I'm saying that it's going to be a tighter football game. But that was just one of those games where
stuff happened.
Stuff happened, absolutely.
And Bergman going to take the shotgun snap again. Handoff's going to come near side this time. Bensinger, who was the defensive player that really sparked them in the start of this half, He's going to go for a gain of 2, bring up second down and 8.
I do have a question, Coach. Out of sportsmanship, do you allow them as an opposing opponent to score a touchdown?
No, absolutely not. You don't ever want to let that into your mindset to allow somebody to score.
Even when the subs are in.
We've done that twice in my memory, allowed a team to score, and that was to get the ball back at the end of a game.
Gotcha.
When a team's trying to run out the clock and yeah, you know that you may make it a 2-score game or whatever, but you have to have the rock back in your hands. And we did that once against Muhammad Seymour and once against West Hancock.
Bergman a gain of 3, 3rd and 4 for the Chargers. Yards coming a little bit more difficulty now as they get deeper into Bomber territory. Alex Brown, a sophomore, out there playing with a big pink cast on the left hand.
The club.
If only it was 1950 and they could use it, right, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Malachi is out there as well.
Stretch. Up, no contain.
That number 34 over there on the carry.
So, and I talked about this with Justice last week.
Go ahead.
These are games that are beneficial for these young guys because the film crew's still running. You know, this film is going to get played, and now these guys, and especially this game, last week it was JV on JV. You're playing their varsity. So, you know, guys like Talon Quisenberry and Jeffrey Lee, they're getting
a taste, right?
Yeah, they're getting a taste, and they're getting to play varsity football, and those guys are going to be expected to step up next year. And I think that's
Talon. Do right there.
Yeah, I think that's Talon Quisenberry right there, who's really been impressive. I've really been proud of both Talon and Jeffrey, linebackers on this JV football team, and the growth that they've had from freshman year to sophomore year, and they're going to be exciting to watch next year.
You bring that up, you bring up some players for next year. Ethan Harrison has been a player that's been on my watch. He's always put in the work. He's always been a really hard worker. He's probably going to be the quote-unquote replacement for Lindsey May because he does a lot of stuff that Lindsey does. He plays middle linebacker. He's not the main back, but he's the sidekick to the main backer, and then he goes in and plays a couple of reps at fullback as well. So
Aiden Moore comes off for the Chargers. Kind of goes down on the sideline. Not sure if it's a cramp. Looks like they are stretching out a cramp. Ben Singer, but that kid, he's not out there to outrun anybody. He's just looking to run over somebody.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Nice to see Drew Watson out on defense, getting a look at him. He's the real deal. He's going to make that I don't want to put JT Jeter type ascension on him, you know, because when JT went from freshman to sophomore, everybody noticed. But he's a special talent and a phenomenal young man, and it's really exciting to watch him play the game of football.
He's got a good rugby-style punt, too.
Yeah, he really does.
Brown on the carry. He's going to be close to a first down. He's going to be about a yard or two short. Bring up 4th down for the Chargers.
Wrestler Cohen Green, he's also going to have to be a big replacement. He'll have to probably get in for Langdon Allen after he's gone this year.
Or Jaden, yeah, absolutely. And he's another one of our wrestlers. He should be a pretty sure tackler. You know, little guy with a big heart. He's out there ready to get his nose dirty.
1:30 remaining in the football game as this quarter has went a lot faster on this drive here. They've had it since the 8:45 mark.
Brennan Bolte is another guy, Thunder Bolte.
Yep.
Bergman hands off again. Brown's going to be brought down in the backfield. Drew Watson and friends are there on the stop. And in the backfield first for the Bombers to break it apart a little bit was Ethan Harrison, number 31.
And the JV preserves the shutout.
Yep.
They get the turnover on downs, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Bombers at the 15. And as Coach said, I mean, you sit on the sideline for a long time, right? And you see a lot of things go on as Barkley, I think, is going to come in. Nope, they're bringing the starters back out, or some of them anyway.
It looks like they're bringing all of them out, and they're probably just going to take a knee.
So I was going to say, you sit on the sidelines, you see your starters do what they've done tonight. Now the fresh soft kids have something to talk about, right? We came out against their starters. They tried to drive it down our throat, and we stopped them.
Absolutely, 100%.
And there is the knee, and that will do it. Bombers going to get out of Carthage, Illinois with an undefeated season. posting a shutout, 46-0. The Bombers get the win over the Illini West Chargers. This game on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, brought to you by the Old Dairy, located at 210 South Lafayette Street in Macomb, serving soup, salad, sandwiches, homemade dessert, Blue Bunny ice cream, and full-service coffee bar.
And we got the Gatorade
Breakfast served
right
all
there.
day, and they have free Wi-Fi as well. Find them online at www.olddairymacomb.com. Call 309-837-6700 for takeout. Hey, Tegan, why don't you have John go have John go get Coach Horrell and see if he wants to come up or if he just wants to wait till tomorrow night.
Hey, John, go get Coach Horrell.
This game also being brought to you by Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling. Since 1960, Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling has provided the greater Macomb area with expert sales, service, and installation of quality home comfort systems. Call your local Carrier dealer today at 309-833-2852 and find out how Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling delivers 365 days of indoor comfort. And Ron Elby Auto Sales, with locations in Macomb and Augusta, and with 80 years of car sales experience, Ron Elby Auto Sales is your hometown go-to for your next car. In Macomb on East Jackson Street, stop in and talk to Justin, Jared, or Chris, or visit them online at www.lbsellscars.com to check out their inventory. So the Bombers complete the perfect regular season. A whole lot left to do if you want to complete the whole season, right? But they've got 9-0, and I don't want to say it's what people expected, but it's what people wanted for sure. And Coach, you've been at every game. This is the first game you've been on with us as they complete the sweep. What's your take on where the Bombers are right now?
Sorry. I'm so proud of these kids, man. These kids have gone through a lot, and they've worked, and they've transformed themselves. And God, I'm so proud of each and every one of them. Where are they right now? I tell you what, right now they're going to enjoy this football game and the position they're in for a few hours, but the mind is going to click to the show tomorrow night that you're going to present and find out their fate, whether they're going to 3A or 4A. But they have to. It's no secret. They have to, whether they're in 3A or 4A, is irrelevant. They have to prepare for football teams that are now battle tested, that have more depth on their roster, that have more depth of talent throughout the 11 guys that are spread across the field. And they've got a very difficult week of work ahead of them in practice as Coach Horrell, Coach Ladd, Coach Wilson, they all present those game plans and put them through the paces to be prepared for playoff football. They got a taste of it last season. They know what it's like. They know what it's like to go toe-to-toe, punch for punch with a 4A football team if that's their fate. But as you've mentioned, their season this year did not put them in a position to play 4 quarters of tension-filled football. So they're going to try and create a week of practice where they're going to do what they do, but at the same time, they're going to try and stress their kids out and have them ready for next weekend.
I want to say, Joseph, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Glad you've watched every game and glad you've enjoyed it. And Monica Fox says, good job, Bombers. Joy Baker says, great game, Bombers. And Tyler Cummins, thanks for joining us. Now, I didn't talk about this at halftime. If we want to continue on in the playoffs, TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH, it's going to take a very big investment for us to be able to continue video coverage. So we will be looking for some added sponsors for the playoffs. It's going to cost us about $1,500 to do playoff games. So if anybody would like to come on board as a sponsor for the playoff games, we'll have some special playoff game coverage sponsorship. We'd love to have you on board. You can get on our Facebook page and TSSR Game Time Live on Facebook. Send us a message, and we'll be out trying to drum up some support as well, as we do want to bring you video coverage of all the playoff games as well. So just keep that in mind as we get ready to move forward here. And Tegan, you've seen every one of these Bombers games as well. I feel like the team has grown quite a bit this year too.
Compared to last year, 100%. And even if we're not talking about last year from the start, 100, like most people thought Macomb was going to be better than they were last year, but not to this level of expectation. They thought, you know, they're going to go in, they're going to have a good season, they're going to be able to make the playoffs again, but no one really expected this team to be undefeated, except for one group, and that's the people out there in the field. They 100% knew.
Hey, Spencer, turn that camera to the team, would you?
This team 100% knew they have the players, they have the skills, they have the confidence, they have the coaching, they have everything they need to go 9-0. And like Weston said, I'm proud of them. A part of me is kind of upset that I can't really fully experience this moment with them, but a part of me is also really glad that they are able to enjoy this moment and they have a chance at potential glory going into the playoffs.
Well, Tegan, I can tell you something. You know, I've done this for, well, I'm not going to say how long, a long time. I've done this audio and broadcasting for a long time. And when you cover a team every week, even though you're not a member of the team, you become like the team means something to you. You become like it means something. And this is the first time I've been a part of a 9-0 broadcast season for any team that we've covered. And you should relish this, because I don't know how long Coach Weston has been doing this and coaching and stuff, but there's not a whole lot of 9-0 seasons that you get to be a part of, whether you're broadcasting, coaching, or playing. So relish it. May not be something you ever get to be a part of again, but you are a part of it. I mean, you can see by the people that are talking about you in the live chat, people have enjoyed having you, so you are a part of this. Even though you're not wearing a jersey this year, you're still a part of making history, as everybody's going to go back and watch this, and they're going to get to listen to you while you do it. There's Coach Lafferty down talking to the Chargers. And, Coach Weston, you've been on both sides of these conversations, right? The side that the Chargers are giving right now and the side that the Bombers just completed. One's really exciting and fun, and the other one's a really hard conversation to have, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That last game of the year is always a tough conversation. But I tell you what, and from being on that side of it more often than I care to remember, one of the other things that's really kind of striking me watching the Macomb Bombers team celebrate is just like Tegan was just alluded to. You know, those guys in those white shirts down there, this is their moment. Absolutely. They've done this. They've had this season. But I tell you what, this season is built by guys like Tegan and you know, far back to my you know, Dustin Blowers and the Bergs and the Musics and you know, the John Ogles and
Jacob Forers.
Jacob Ford and Casey Dorenzi and Dawson Chenoweth and all of these guys and you know, so many names are in my head right now, but you know, all of these guys that this is them as well, you know, building this program back up, that every one of you guys that are listening at home right now, you guys are a huge part of this. You know, Campbell, old number 3, you know, you're a part of all you guys are a part of what this became. And the man right here is just walked up here. Love you, buddy. And we'll turn it over to Coach.
Coach Tanner Horrell under the headset.
Fumbling with it again? Yeah. Come on, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. Did you get a bath?
I did. A little cold. Not quite as cold as last year, so.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'll keep taking them, though. We'll get a couple more this year, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Your kids came out. It's kind of like deja vu from last week to this week. Carthage or Illini West came out and drove the ball. They just didn't punch it in the end zone, and your guys answered just that quick.
Yeah, we came out, I don't know, flat. Illini West was ready to go. They were desperate. They had to get in the playoffs, and that first series, they kind of took it to us. I mean, we beat ourselves. We had a couple missed tackles. They had a nice fake punt. So we got to clean those things up because we can't come out in the first drive and play like that.
Well, Coach Klein has been around the Carthage Illini West deal for a long time, and back in the day when Carthage was really good, he was the special teams guy, and he liked to throw in the onside kicks and the fake punts, and that hasn't changed.
No, and they almost got the onside too. So we got to clean that up on special teams a little bit. But that was a good design. They tried at least one more time, and we snuffed it out that time. So it was progress.
Hey, maybe a silly question for you, but how many times have coaching, playing, or whatever, have you had somebody on your team kick the ball into the end zone 2 times on kickoffs? Back-to-back?
Well, when I played, one of my best friends was a soccer player. His dad's the soccer coach at Western. So we kicked it in the end zone a bunch.
Let's take him out of the
But
equation
since then, never.
Those were 2 pretty good boots. Not a lot of height, but, man, they got there in a hurry.
As long as they get in, because if they don't get in, it's a line drive, and now we're a little bit in trouble. But Coach Ladd said, if you can do that every time, we're going to do it. You know, if we could pin them back inside the 25, then we'll kick it deep. But if we can't, no point in doing it.
Yeah, that's what Coach Weston actually pointed out. The first time he kicked, it was low, and they fielded it, and it was out to the 40, right, the same spot, right, only with a whole lot more effort.
Right, so might as well maybe get a chance of getting the ball if they're going to get it there. So it's kind of our mindset.
You guys played 3.5 quarters tonight.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure because I don't keep track of this, but this had to be a night with maybe as many offensive plays as you've ran all year, because I have counting the run, there's 4 carries for Duncan, but he also had 23 passes.
First time.
And 22 carries for Reiner.
Yeah, it's a lot of plays.
You're up over, and then you got 7 carries for Cochran. So you're up over 60 plays. I think that's the most you've had all year.
Oh, yeah, especially with the first group. They made us nickel and dime it, and we did it. There were a couple series where penalties and negative plays killed us, and those are things we got to clean up. Because I feel like we should have punched in a little bit sooner. But
how much was the wind a factor? It looked like when you were going left, well, it would have been your guys' right to left, but as we're standing now, left to right on the TV screen, it looked like the wind was blowing pretty hard. If you got the ball up, it stopped it.
No, yeah. We didn't really realize it until the game started. I mean, that wind killed it. The first quarter, we almost ran out of time, and we got some deep shots on them. But then the second quarter, it killed a couple of Jack's throws. So
and he throws hard and low. I mean, he doesn't usually loft the ball, and it was still slowing
down.
No,
and I called a bad couple plays there that made him put the ball a little higher than he wanted to.
Well, Reiner, unofficially, we don't have the stats here. Just have mine. I had him for 22 carries for 180 yards, but he had more carries tonight of 5 or less than he's had all year.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they did a good job. They stacked the box, and I feel like there maybe were some holes there that we could have hit, but we got to see it on film. We got to stay on our blocks a little bit longer. But we knew there was always going to be one guy that we couldn't block if they were going to keep 7, 8 guys in the box. And if they do that, then we got to pass the ball, and we're comfortable doing that.
You a new uncle again?
I am, yeah, Waylon. So that's pretty exciting.
Coach Weston might have got a photo of Waylon watching the first football game.
That's awesome.
And it was a Macomb Bomber game. No other way it should be, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So, well, Coach, you got a ride, and we're going to see you tomorrow night. We're going to go live about 7:30.
Awesome.
And so we'll be live for everybody to watch. We'll talk to coaches. Justice Skeen is going to be on there with us.
Today on Facebook.
He's going to be on the show with me, and we'll kind of split some interviews. That's the plan anyway. Go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing before you go. I know for a lot of these kids out there, this is a really big moment, but speaking from you, I know that you've probably never gone undefeated in your entire life. How does that feel necessarily to you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really hit. We talked about when we looked at the schedule before the year, we knew it was a possibility with the guys that we had. But you got to go out there and make it happen every Friday night. And those guys battled. They're an awesome group of guys. It started when they were freshmen. They had a really good JV year that year, but they had to stick it out because we had that brutal schedule. We probably could have won some football games that year. Things didn't go our way, and they stuck it out, and they bought in the weight room. And it's those guys. Those guys did the work, not me. Those guys did the work, but it's awesome. You don't go 9-0 very often.
Well, Jeter had an off night tonight. He had 8 catches for 138 yards, but he only had 1 touchdown.
I know. You got tackled at the 1.
Whose fault's that, right?
I know.
Yeah, well, 214 yards is what I had Duncan for, so that's not a bad night. He just keeps adding to that total. Adding to that total, doesn't he?
Oh, let's get a couple more weeks. Yeah.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming up here and talking to us greatly. It's been a fun regular season. We're going to do our best to try to come up with some extra sponsorship for the next few weeks. If we can come up with it. It costs us like $1,400.
That's crazy.
I know.
I just say getting their money.
If we can come up with the money, we'll follow you as long as we can.
Awesome.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming and talking to us after every game, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach
Thanks,
Tanner Horrell talking to us for a few minutes here on the post-game show. We'll get Coach Weston back under the headset for just a minute. Some closing thoughts. Watch the cord there.
Yep. Don't want
to. And we're going to get Coach Weston under here for just a second, and then we'll get off this broadcast. But, Tegan, final thoughts?
Well, first things first, I just want to say I'm very glad I was able to, if this is the last one, which hopefully it won't, but if it is, I was very glad to be able to do this experience, and especially to finish it off with the coach that I've been around for most of my life. It's very impactful, and it made this last one feel a lot more special than it did.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
But as it comes to the Macomb side, you just gotta hope that things go your way tomorrow. If things do go your way, you're either going up against a really good 4A team, or you're going to go up against an equally really good 3A team, and preferably you would like the 3A team.
Coach Weston?
Hey, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to do this and be with you and give me an opportunity to be with Tegan here and just, another perspective of Bomber football. And as you alluded to earlier, I haven't missed a game since I was on the sideline. I love this team. I love the program. I love the coaches, and I just couldn't be more proud right now.
Well, guys, I appreciate you being a part of it. I appreciate everybody at home watching and joining with us each and every week here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling has brought all Bomber sports, and they'll do it all year long here to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. And if it's our last football game for the Bombers, we're going to hope it's not. We're going to work really hard this week to make it not the last game. But if it is, we'll figure out a way to get you some audio. And if not, I think Justice Keene will probably be trying to do some of them audio only as well. So we'll work on a way to try to get you and let you know where you can watch and or listen to these games as they make what we hope is a deep run into the IHSA playoffs. But we've got I8FA football coming on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. West Prairie made the playoffs. They'll be playing next week. The Bombers will be playing next week. And then we have the I8FA state championship game. Coach Weston, you want to maybe try some sideline reporting or something?
We could definitely discuss that. Obviously, we have to see what's going on with the Bombers and how the timing works out.
It's a Friday night game, so usually it's the week before.
Gotcha.
It's a week before Thanksgiving, so even if the Bombers are still playing, they'll probably be playing on Saturday at that point.
Good chance of that.
That's generally the semifinals are all on Saturday. At least they have been predominantly through the years. But if it's 4A, you never know.
Yep.
I suppose. So for John Burton, who has been the main cameraman for the Bombers all fall long, I appreciate all he's done. Spencer Kilburn for coming on board tonight and helping out. For Tegan Perry and Coach Weston, I'm Dwayne Hulett. Thanks for joining us as Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling has brought Bombers football to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. See you live from the Sports Corner at 124 tomorrow night.